did the same thing I did last time I started a live stream, where I thought I was live. I was talking for a good minute and a half, and then I looked over at OBS and realized that it wasn't actually broadcasting live yet. I think I figured it out quicker this time than I did last time, but I do believe I'm live now. So let me know if you can hear me in the comments. I feel like a tech noob whenever I try to do one of these live streams because I do them so infrequently. But the last time I did a live stream, I deep dived into how I make my YouTube thumbnails. I showed off all the various AI tools and the step-by-step process to get to a completed thumbnail. This one, I thought it would be kind of fun to show off my process of how I find AI news and how I stay in the loop with AI tools. And I know, yes, I have the Future Tools website where I share all the latest AI tools there, but that's not how I stay in the loop. I actually do still add all the tools. I still vet every single tool that goes on the site there. So I am hunting down tools in other ways, so I thought I'd share some of that. I actually haven't reviewed the AI news yet for today. I haven't reviewed the AI tools that people have shared with me yet today. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of share them live, review them live, talk about them live, see which ones I think are cool, share what news that came out today that I think is interesting, and just show you the process that I go through every morning live to stay in the loop and keep my finger on the pulse. But to be honest, the real reason I wanted to do this live stream was just to like hang out and chat with you guys. I love last time we did one of these live streams, I think I shared my YouTube thumbnail process for the first, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And then I went for another hour and 40 minutes just answering questions from the chat and checking out tools that you guys suggested and, going into my backstory about how I got started in AI and how I got started on YouTube. So that was the most fun part for me, but I do want to have a little bit of an agenda coming into this. So that's why I figured I would share some of my processes for news and tools. Anybody who watches my recordings is going to find out how long-winded I actually am in real life. When I make YouTube videos, I actually spend an hour to 2 hours recording those videos and then try to cut them down to 20 minutes or so. So I do tend to ramble a lot. And if you're watching my live streams, well, you're probably going to learn that as well. But let me peek over to the comments real quick before we get started, now that I know I actually am live, and see what you guys are saying. What's up, guys? Let's go Warriors. We got Dylan Does, Robert, Corey, TT, Red Eye Laser. How's it going? Chris, Joe. Very cool. Carson, Dale, Josh. Very cool. Good to see all you guys here. Ooh, San Diego in the house. Yep, I'm in San Diego as well. Cool. So, you guys can put questions inside of the chat. I got my right-hand man hanging out with me today in the chat. His name's John. You know him as Craze. You'll see him as the moderator here inside the chat. So if you do ask questions and I'm in the middle of a rant or sharing something else, Craze over there is going to kind of keep track of them for me a little bit and pop them into Discord. So if I miss them, anything that's important that I need to answer or he thinks would be relevant for me to answer, he's going to share with me on Discord, and I will try to do my best to answer them. But let's just go ahead and start getting into the initial topic that I wanted to talk about before we just kind of go freestyle and let this thing go off the rails here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop here. I'm going to hide my bookmarks just to keep it a little bit cleaner. So my process every single morning, this is what I do over coffee first thing in the morning, is I try to get myself up to date with all of the latest AI news that's happened in the last 24 hours. I look through any tools that people have submitted. I just kind of keep my finger on the pulse, and by the time I'm done with my coffee, I've usually finished going through this process. But again, I have not actually gone through this process yet today. So my process is I always start in Feedly. And the way Feedly works is it's an RSS feed reader, so you can add in blogs into Feedly, and you can add in various websites that share news, and every day it will show you the most up-to-date information from the sites that you plug into it. But it's also got this thing called Feedly Leo, and I created this little feed called AI Web Alerts, and this goes and hunts down AI news from around the web from blogs and websites that maybe I'm not subscribed to the RSS feed for. right? So it goes and finds websites that I would never normally read. Like I would never actually read Retail Insider, most likely, or AWS News Blog. I'd probably read that one from time to time. Clinical Trial News. I don't think I would read these normally, but this AI web alerts goes and scours the internet and finds all the news from all the random sites that I wouldn't read normally and shares AI news from those. But most of the news that I get comes from my big tech feeds. My big tech feed over here is the Windows blog. The stories is Google. I've got Apple Newsroom. I've got Meta's blog, the GitHub blog, NVIDIA blog, Stability AI's blog. So the big tech ones is where it seems like the majority of the important news comes out. So I always kind of review this first. I have this habit of scrolling all the way down to the bottom and then working my way up. It is possible to actually sort by the oldest and have it show the oldest towards the top, but for some reason I always like to scroll down to the bottom and work my way up because I like to see how big this little this little bar on the right hand side of my screen is to know how much news I'm about to review. But again, I haven't reviewed the news yet today, so I'm actually gonna review it in real time. The stuff from the Windows blog isn't that important to me. It's just kind of they've rolled out some basic beta updates to Windows, so I ignore that. People tell us that once they use Copilot, they can't imagine work without it. That's not really news, so I'll kind of skip past that. New, more affordable Apple Pencil, not really AI related. So this is really my process. I skim through all this news, see if there's anything interesting worth talking about. AI supercomputer revs UK's economic engine. So I'll open that in a new tab, see if that's interesting. New features to help merchants stand out. Stability AI previews, enhanced image offerings, APIs for business, and new product features. Take a peek at that one. Unlocking the power of language. 8 new games for Apple News. And so those are really the only 2 news articles from the big tech sites that really grab my attention. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear this feed here. And now you can see my big tech feed is cleared out. Then I go to my all news sites tab here. And with my all news sites tab, most of it is just The Verge and TechCrunch. But The Verge posts so often that if I look at this feed, it's almost like all The Verge. But once again, scroll down to the bottom. It's supposed to only find stuff relevant to AI, but it finds a whole bunch of other stuff randomly as well, like Mario Kart Deluxe and random stuff. Let's see here. Anything interesting worth talking about? Also, if anybody's come across any interesting AI news, feel free to share it. We can take a peek at it as well. I think I do a pretty good job of hunting down all the signal versus the noise, all the AI news that's actually worth talking about. A lot of companies like to say, "Hey, we just added a customer support chat bot to the bottom corner of our website. Therefore, we're AI now, and you should share us on future tools." And I'm just kind of like, because you have an AI chatbot in the corner of your website to answer questions without a human involved, I don't really feel that's newsworthy, because everybody does that now. Nothing really that exciting in any of these either. And then I would just kind of read this article and skim it, see if there's anything interesting. A lot of times NVIDIA likes to share stories of companies that are using their AI, but it's not actually super newsworthy. It's just like, hey, look, here's another company that uses NVIDIA. Hey, look, here's another company that uses NVIDIA. And they try to sort of angle it as news when it's really not super newsworthy. So that's pretty much my AI news process. I don't think there's really anything really interesting about this article. I will probably come back and review it again just to make sure. Stability AI, image offerings, APIs for business, and new product features. I will go ahead and share this on the Future Tools website. So I actually have this automation set up. This is really sick. So if I press this little button here, I got to log into Zapier first. I don't have to log in every time, but for some reason, while I'm streaming, it wants me to log in. So let me log in real quick. Off screen. All right, cool. I'm logged into Zapier. Now, if I press this button up here, I can press this one little send button, just like that. Gives me a little check mark. Now, if I go over to Future Tools, and I go to my AI News tab, boom. Stability AI previews, enhanced image offerings, API for business, and new product features. That's how I add news to my website. I literally come across the news, press my little Zapier button, and I have a little automation in the back end that pops it up onto the Future Tools website for me. So that's how that AI news page is kept so up to date. So that's the Stability AI news. The next thing I tend to do is I've got this list over on Twitter called AI is Awesome. It's a public list. Anybody can follow it. You can see the URL up here. But here, I'll actually paste the URL to this list inside of the messages if anybody wants to go and follow this list here. It's got 1,200 people that actually pay attention to this list. But this is 519 people on Twitter who share pretty frequently AI information. So anything that I don't find on my Feedly page, I typically will find in this Twitter feed. You know, somebody from OpenAI or somebody from Google or Adobe or Microsoft or one of those companies is going to share the news on Twitter, and I will come across it, you know, somehow on this list. I, for the most part, never really scroll my home feed on Twitter. I find that on Twitter, it just gives me a lot of people that I don't actually follow in my home feed a lot. So I pretty much predominantly use my lists. I've got my AI is Awesome list, XR is Awesome, and YouTube is Awesome. You know, very unique naming convention there. But my AI is Awesome list is one that I browse every single day. I scroll it and I just see if there's anything worth talking about. I also scroll my notifications every day. And those are really the only two things that I scroll on Twitter, quite honestly, is my various lists and my notifications page. And that keeps me pretty in the loop with all of the latest AI news. The third thing I do is I am subscribed to some other AI newsletters. I'll actually show you the ones that I'm subscribed to. So this is my email inbox. I am subscribed to Superhuman by Zane Khan, AI Vibes, AI Breakfast, Ben's Bites, The Rundown, Unwind AI, Body Eat Brain, The Neuron, One Useful Thing. Let's see, are there any that I missed? And that seems to be all of them. You can see that every day I get all of these newsletters from all these different people that are keeping their finger on the pulse. I really, really love The Rundown. This is probably one of my favorite AI newsletters outside of the Future Tools newsletter. This one is Rowan Chung who puts this out. That's one of my favorites. I also really, really like Ben's Bites. He does a great job with his newsletter. And this is also how I come across a lot of tools. A lot of these newsletters share tools. So if I look at the Rundown newsletter, he shares the latest developments. If I'm honest, most of these newsletters I don't find actual news from. Most of them, you know, I usually come across the news from my RSS feed reader over on Feedly. But every once in a while, one of these newsletters will pop up some news that I haven't come across yet. Most of the time, I'm looking at these newsletters just to see what tools they're coming across. So the Rundown, he's got his trending tools down here. And I usually skim what tools he's sharing to see if there's any tools that I haven't come across or haven't played with yet. Same with Ben Bites. You know, he's got this news, but most of this news is stuff that I've come across already on Feedly. But then he's got his top tools section here where I'll click through these tools and see if there's anything that I haven't played with yet. I'm going to go ahead and pause because I've been talking for 16 minutes here. So let me see what you guys are saying. Things are about to get silly. Yeah, probably true. Let's see. What do you think about AI art? Will it stay? Is it ethical? I tried selling images, but what do you think? We could talk about that in a little bit. How to make a news website. I actually made my website on Webflow and have a bunch of Zapier automations going on behind the scenes. Have I messed with NVIDIA's Canvas? A little bit, not a whole lot. Yeah, so some good questions here. I'll review them after I kind of stop talking about some of this other stuff that I wanted to talk about. So, Praise/John, if you see any questions that you think we got to answer, make sure you toss them in the Discord to me, and we'll round some of those up. Sweet. Your favorite newsletter? What's your favorite image generator currently? Let's see. Do you pull your newsletter into Feedly too? I don't actually pull my newsletter into Feedly right now. 16 minutes. That was the quickest in my life. Yeah, I'm not totally done yet. I was just kind of taking a break to see what people are saying in the comments, making sure nobody's going, "Hey, you're muted. I can't hear you," or anything like that. So yeah, I shared what newsletters I read. There's a few others that are less than weekly or daily. These are all the pretty much daily newsletters. There are a few others that I'm on that are a little less frequent, that are only like once or twice a week, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head. These are just the ones that I see every single day. But that's how I come across a lot of the tools. The AI is awesome. Twitter list, I keep up to date with that. We've got my AI web alerts and all of my AI news feeds that I follow here. I actually plugged Ben's Bytes website. So Ben's Bytes, if you're not familiar, he's actually got a news site here at news.bensbytes.co. And this is a community-driven news site that he has. So if you follow this website here, you can actually submit news as you come across it. And so this is curated by the community, where my Future Tools news site is all curated by me. Every piece of news that ends up on the site is something that I personally came across and went, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to share it with the community. Ben's Bytes is the community sharing stuff. And so a lot of times you get a lot of duplicate stuff in here. You get a lot of stuff that's not newsworthy. You get a lot of people that went and, built a quick AI app and then shared it on this website trying to claim that it's news and stuff like that. So it's not, there's a lot of stuff that pops up in here, and a lot of it is pretty decent news, but there's a lot of the signal to noise ratio. There's a lot of noise as well. So I actually have Ben's Bytes set up with my RSS feed reader. They actually have a feature here in Feedly where you can go and create a new RSS feed on a site that doesn't even have one. So if I go and plug in news.bensbytes.co here, and I plug it over into like this, like I want to follow it, it doesn't actually have an RSS feed reader, but you can see right here, it has an RSS builder. So if I click on this, it actually says, click on a link to see the matched feed here. And if I click on this link, you can see it's now creating a feed off of every news item here. And if I clicked build RSS feed here, then I now have this Ben's Byte feed of anybody that submits anything to Ben's Bytes. It actually feeds straight to my AI News Feedly account here. I imagine if somebody really, really wanted an RSS feed of my Future Tools website, you could do the same thing, right? I mean, my preference is you go to my site because I like seeing the traffic go to my site. But if you wanted to do this, you could. You could go to this RSS builder here, plug in this URL, futuretools.io/news, click on RSS Builder, select the link, and you can see now it created a feed of every single new piece of news that gets added to the AI news page. And now inside of Feedly, you can keep up with it there if you wanted to do that alternatively. If you want to do that with the actual tools that get added to Future Tools, I imagine you can do that as well. If I just took futuretools.io, created a new RSS feed reader, paste this here, and RSS Builder, and then just select this first link here, and you can see it would actually create a feed every single time a new tool is added, and you can actually follow along to every single new tool. It looks like the title will just say Future Tools, so I don't know how helpful that'll be, but you could create an RSS feed of your own off of my site if you wanted to keep up with it that closely. So there's one idea for you. If you want to, people ask me all the time, why don't you have an RSS feed for your news page or your tools page? And I mean, I could build one, but at the end of the day, my business is built on traffic. I need to get traffic to the site, and then the more traffic I get to the site, the more eyeballs are on these featured listings, and these featured listings are essentially sponsored posts. So, I need traffic and eyeballs to the site, which is the main reason I don't have an RSS feed reader. But if you really, really want to do it, that's your workaround. Another place that I do really like checking into is this Daily Papers over on Hugging Face. This is a really good resource as well. huggingface.co/papers. every single day during the weekday, Monday through Friday. Any new research papers that go on archive.org that look interesting. This is curated by AK, who's got a really, really good Twitter. If you don't follow him, I thought that link was going to send me over to his Twitter, but it didn't. But AK on Twitter has a really, really good Twitter following where he shares all of the latest cool research papers that come out of archive.org. So he also curates this over on Hugging Face, where whenever he comes across a really cool like AI tool or research paper, he shares it right here on this page. I like to open it up. You know, we've got this short to long video diffusion model for generative transition and prediction. I think, okay, that looks interesting. I can open this up here, visit the archive.org page, and all right, here's the URL for the project page. And now I could learn a little bit more about this specific project and how it works. So when I do those videos on my YouTube channel about like, this AI is mind-blowing, or this is the AI that's coming that we don't have access to yet, but it's really cool. Whenever I do that style of video, most of that information actually comes from this daily papers page over on Hugging Face. I just kind of keep up to date on this site. Whenever I come across some information that I think looks really interesting, like this one here, I'll save it to my mind, which is another tool that I use to kind of just organize cool resources that I come across on the web. You can see here's that one that I just took a screenshot of popping up into my mind right here. So whenever I come across anything interesting that I think is really worth sharing on a future video, I make sure to save it to my mind here. But those are really the daily check-in resources that I use. So, yeah. Any questions about that? I'll go ahead and take a break. I'm going to take a sip of water. Let me see. What's John saying over here? How much do all your automation tools cost? Specifically for the YouTube workflow. Ooh, Luma AI just made a new announcement. Cool. I'll have to check that out. How many hours a week do you work on AI news gathering and video making? So AI news gathering, I do pretty much every day. I definitely do it less on the weekends. So Saturday and Sunday, I'm not so much jumping on and scrolling through the news. But if I have some downtime on a Saturday or Sunday, I might pop open my phone and skim my my Feedly feed. But the interesting thing about the AI world is not much news really comes out over the weekends, right? Like OpenAI and Google and Microsoft and Apple and all the big companies, none of them ever really put out big news headlines over the weekend. They usually wait till midweek. It seems like Tuesday seems to be like the hottest day of the week to make announcements. So it's really a lot slower during the weekends. So I don't really pay attention on the weekends, but during the week, it's usually the first 90 minutes of my day, kind of skimming the news, skimming the latest tools, skimming the Twitter accounts, doing all that stuff. Yeah, so I'd say about 90 minutes a day on research. The actual process of recording YouTube videos varies wildly, right? John, aka Craze here, he helps me with the YouTube videos. He helps me with titles and thumbnails and ideas for videos. And, he can attest to the fact that it's kind of all over the place. Some of the videos we knock out in 45 minutes, and from the time I hit record to the time it's live is pretty quick. And then other videos, we'll spend 3 days producing the video. It really depends on the topic and how in depth we go and all that kind of stuff. The AI news videos, if you're asking specifically about those, the ones I do on Friday, those videos, since I'm kind of doing the research throughout the week, I'm not actually doing a lot of the research right before hitting record on the video. I've kind of already got, here's all the news that came out throughout the week that I want to talk about. I open them all up in tabs so I know exactly what stuff I'm going to talk about. And then I just kind of hit record and start rambling about each news piece. I then go back through myself and cut out any stuff that I think is fluff, or I often cut out news articles where when I watch my video back in retrospect, I go, that's not that important of news. I don't feel like I need to actually share that. So I'll actually go out and cut out whole news articles that I don't think are relevant to share. I cut out any sort of areas where I repeat myself or they're redundant. And then after that, I typically send it over to my editor And then my editor goes and he tends to add transitions and puts text on screen. And if you do hear any sound effects, he adds those. Although the feedback we've been getting is back off on the sound effects. So, you know, he's gotten that feedback as well. Let's slow down on the sound effects. But he goes and adds some of that final polish onto the videos. So I usually spend, I'd say, 2 hours on Thursday making the news video before passing it off to my editor. That's about typical for that, I would say. Let's see, what else do we got here? John is posting a bunch of questions to me here. So how much do all the automation tools cost? Let me think here. So I have Zapier, which I think is about $50 a month. I use that quite a bit. But I don't know the pricing off the top of my head. Hopefully I'm not showing anything I shouldn't show. That's just my email address. I'm not too worried about that. Billing. Okay, so I pay $73.50 a month for Zapier here. Feedly, Leo. What does that cost? Wait, I just saw a pricing page. Where's that pricing? So I'm on the $12 a month plan for Feedly Leo. Because if you look at Pro, they have a $6 a month plan and a $12 a month plan, but the AI features that you really want, I think, are only on this plan. So yeah, between Zapier, I also use make.com a little bit for my other automations. I've made a video about that in the past. Make.com, I think I'm on this plan, the $16 a month plan. So roughly $100-ish on all the AI automation tools to keep the news and stuff up to date. That's really all I pay for. I do have a bunch of AI tools. Like I do pay for, Leonardo. I do pay for Runway. I do pay for Midjourney. I pay for a lot of those tools that I use pretty frequently as well. But that's not really necessarily stuff that goes into the production process. Let's see here. I do want to check out what the new Luma AI news is. So the other thing that I was going to share too is so many people ask me, how do you find all the tools, right? So I do find them by just browsing my AI is awesome list. People will share new tools on here. I do find them from the newsletter. I do find them from news articles directly on Feedly. I do find them from all of those places. But the majority of the stuff that gets added to the website is actually submitted by people on the website. So if you go to the Future Tools website here, I do have this submit a tool page here. I ask people to follow certain directions when submitting the tools. I think pretty much everybody ignores my instructions and just submits whatever they want. But people do submit them to me. I do ask for their name and email too, so I'm trying to kind of hide those details here. But I do ask for that. And you can see here's what's added since I updated tools yesterday. These ones came in sort of overnight, and these are the ones that have been submitted so far today. So you can see every single day there's a handful of tools that people submit for me to review. I would say that about 90% of the tools that people submit, I don't actually end up putting on the site because they look very low effort, right? If my sort of rule of thumb for these AI tools is if your website looks low effort, I'm assuming your tool is also low effort. So if I land on your website and it looks like the website was built in 30 seconds, I'm going to also assume you kind of half-assed building your tool as well. So that's kind of one of my criteria. But these are all the tools that have been submitted. One of the things I ask people not to do is don't submit tools that are already on the website, because I will, I'm just going to ignore those submissions. There's no point. So please search the website for a tool first. And just looking through this already, I can already see that this trickle.so, somebody submitted that, but I know for a fact that I already list Trickle on my website. It's right there. So that's one of the annoying things is I do have to sort of filter and go through all of this stuff. And there's just a lot of junk on here. I don't want to click on any of these tools and, call anybody out and pull up something and be like, see, this is my example of a junk tool, because I'd feel bad about that for the person that actually created the tool. So I'm not going to actually do that. But this is what it looks like. I actually just get a spreadsheet every day of here's all the tools that were submitted. My typical process is I will select all of these URLs here, right click, and open links. And it will literally just open all of these links in new tabs. And then I will just start to click through all of these tools to see what was submitted. But I'm not gonna do any negative commentary on any of these right now. I'm gonna review them offline. If a site takes a long time to load, it's probably not gonna make the cut. Also, there are tools that are resubmitted that are already on the site. But again, I don't want to poop on anybody's parade here, so I'm not gonna review tools in real time right now, unless there's specific tools that people want to plug into the comments and think that we should take a look at. But there we go. I think I covered everything. It's 32 minutes in, and I think I covered my entire process of what I do for the first hour and a half to 2 hours of my day. That's what that looks like. Let's see, Shadow Slayer. Have you tried Moon Valley? I have. Yes. It seems to work pretty good. I'm pretty sure I tried it in one of my past videos as well. Yeah, it's not a good idea to just open links you don't know. I agree. That's why I closed out of them really quick. Wanted to just sort of show you the process, but didn't want to dive deep into any of them because a lot of times people submit AI-generated image sites with not the safest for work content, which also means not safe for YouTube streaming content. All right, let me see. So John's posted a bunch of questions over here for me to take a look at. So somebody asked, are you aware of any local image models or local LLMs that work on AutoGen? Honestly, I have not played with AutoGen yet. If you want to learn more about AutoGen, the best YouTube channel to follow about that right now is Matthew Berman. If you follow him, this guy right here, definitely a good AI follow if you're not following him already, but you can see AutoGen plus MemGPT, AutoGen Advanced Tutorial, how to use AutoGen with any open source large language model, use AutoGen with any open source model. Looks like that was kind of a two-parter or something. So make sure you're following Matthew Berman as well. He shares a lot of good stuff, AutoGen and MemGPT. He, on my channel, I used to dive into the really, really technical stuff a little more often. I'd like to do it again in the future, but lately I've been kind of focused more on sharing the news and making tutorials about tools that you don't need to know GitHub and how to use terminal commands and stuff like that to actually set up. I am planning on doing more of those in the future and kind of deep diving on some of that stuff, but right now Matthew Berman is a really, really good channel to follow for that kind of stuff. Let's see what else we got. Is there a free tool that will generate AI images off an uploaded image, kind of how like a Midjourney works? I mean, free tool. Hey John, it would be helpful too if you can plug in like the name of the person that asked the question too, so I can address them. That would be helpful as well. But it says, is there a free tool that will generate AI images off an uploaded image, kind of like how Midjourney works? There are, if you're willing to install tools on your local hard drive, right? With Stable Diffusion. If you're using Stable Diffusion, you can upload any image you want and have it generate images on top of that. You can do in painting, out painting, so you can add other stuff inside of the images. You can have it model the style of the images, things like that. Also, I was going to talk a little bit about Leonardo because they just rolled out some new features. I had a call with one of the co-founders on Monday, and he was telling me all about this new Alchemy V2, so I thought maybe I would play around with that a little bit. So this one has the ability to upload images. I just need a little bit more context into that question. The local image models, though, definitely Stable Diffusion. I would use that. You can see some of the most recent weird randomness I've made inside of Leonardo here. Can you please make more videos on automation with AI? Yeah, I mean, automation was like my first love. That's what actually got me into AI in the first place. So I would absolutely love to make more videos on automation. Sometimes it's not always the easiest to come up with the ideas. So if you have ideas for videos that you'd love to see me publish, totally down. Just, give me some feedback on what things you want to see automated, and I'll figure out how to automate those. Let's see here. Would you mind moving your circle to the other side of the screen as it's overlapping with the comments list? I can move my camera there or there. I've got those two options. Where's the comments list? I thought the comments was off the video. Let's see. As an ADHD person, I struggle with sticking to one subject at a time. I'm doing like 50 things at once. How do you decide which rabbit hole you are getting in? That's a really good question. I don't know if I really decide which rabbit holes I'm getting in. I think the rabbit holes find me. I just start scrolling down the news, like I mentioned, and every once in a while I will click into a tool and I'll go, oh, this looks interesting. And then I'll click into a link from that article, and then I'll click into a link from that article. I don't think I have ADHD, but at times I also, I have, I don't know. Maybe I'm like the opposite of ADHD, where I'll just get like hyper focused into like one topic. But I guess ADHD people do that too. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore the last 30 seconds of what I just said. I just kind of go down rabbit holes, and I don't really know why I decide to go down the rabbit holes I do. It just kind of happens. Let's see. Hey, Matt, thanks for teaching. Do you have an AI tool for building a site for WordPress? Where you go to find an editor? Yeah, so there's two questions there. So do I have an AI tool for building a site for WordPress? I have not actually used an AI tool myself for building a WordPress site, but I know there is a couple. So if I do a quick search for WordPress here, there's 22 tools on the website. 10web, I believe, has built-in AI for WordPress. There's this Code WP, which is a code generator for WordPress. I would check out those two. I don't use WordPress. This site is actually built on Webflow. So I used to build a lot with WordPress, but got kind of sick of needing to run updates every single time I ever logged into WordPress. So now I don't use WordPress as much. I use Webflow. And then as far as where I find an editor, I actually found, I've got two people helping edit now. I've got my main editor, Mark, who actually lives in the Philippines. I found him on onlinejobs.ph. Igor from the AI Advantage, he told me about this site. He has an editor based in the Philippines as well. So the way I found my editor on onlinejobs.ph was I went and I posted a job listing on here saying that, I'm looking for an editor for my YouTube channel. I linked off to my YouTube channel so they can kind of see the style of the video. And I said, I said somewhere in my description, I said, when you reply, say this keyword back to me so that I know you read my job description, right? I always like to do that. So, maybe halfway through my paragraph job description, I might say, put the word squirrel somewhere in your response to me so that I know you actually read my job listing. And then when I start going through all the replies to the job listings, I see who actually put squirrel somewhere in their response. If they didn't do that, I automatically go, okay, this person doesn't follow directions, and I rule them out. Once I narrowed it down to about 10 people that I thought would be good editors, I looked at some of their portfolios, looked at some of the videos they created, and thought, okay, these are people that edit in the style that I like. I sent all 10 of those people an unedited video and said, I'd like to pay you to edit this video. I think I offered them $50 to edit the video. I said, here, I'll give you $50 to edit this video. I did that for like 10 different people. I had them all edit the same video. And then from those 10 videos they sent back, I went and decided who I thought did the best edit. I did pay all of them, so it's not, the cheapest approach, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, getting them to spend a bunch of time on me for free without anything in return or without any potential of making any money off of it. So I did offer to pay them all, and then I ended up picking the editor that I thought did the best job with that one video. And then the other editor I have is actually John. He helps me do some of the edits as well. He's kind of more of a polisher edit. So if I or Mark do an edit, I might send it over to John afterwards, and he'll do some extra polish. He's got a you know, he's got a graphics design background and very, very good with the visuals. So I like to always pass the videos through him to get some last minute feedback and some last minute edits on the videos. But you know, John, since he's sort of a jack of all trades, there isn't like a specific rate that he gets paid per video or anything like that. So Mark, on the other hand, in the Philippines, he started, I think, at $800 a month he was editing 8 videos for me. So I think I was paying about $100 a video. That the amount I pay him has actually gone up since then. But when I first started, that's how much he requested. But I have paid him more as time has gone on and the channel's grown. So he is actually making more than that now. Let's see here. And thanks for the donations, by the way. That's really awesome. I actually almost forgot that feature existed in YouTube, but I've been seeing some of them pop in. So I just want to say thank you to Driver Sensei and the Crucial Druggie, and we got Pembroke Jones, Learning Labyrinth. Thank you so much, guys. That is so awesome. Agnes Love Heals, Brenworth. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. That's so cool. Let's see here. So Ram said, please tell me about newsletter automation. The funny thing is my newsletter is the least automated part of the business. There's actually no real automation in my newsletter. It's really just the tools that I came across the week that I found the most interesting and typing out a description of them. The only automation that goes into that newsletter is I will double check the grammar, the spelling, and the readability with Claude. So I will copy and paste the whole newsletter in after it's written and say, double check this text for spelling, grammar, and readability. You know, obviously you could do spelling and grammar with other tools like Grammarly and things like that. But if you do and readability, it will actually suggest some better ways to word some of the paragraphs. It will suggest, you know, maybe use this word instead of this word because this is, you know, easier reading level for people, things like that. So I always like to have it, check it for readability and sort of help me reword things to make it a little bit easier to read. But that's really the only automation that goes in the newsletter. Everything else is still done very, very manually. Let's see, Joe, are there any tools to generate 3D models from text? Looking to 3D print an AI generated item. That's actually something I want to do as well. I want to start doing some 3D models and then doing some 3D prints on them. There have been some text to 3D models that came out. Let me see if I can figure them out through this web. As you can see, by the way, I actually do use this website quite a bit myself. So it's not, I actually made this for myself to, whenever I came across cool tools, to find the stuff again that I've come across already. But yeah, this Masterpiece X is the one that I played with recently. So if we visit this one does a pretty decent job of text to 3D. It does take a minute to use, but if I go generate 3D now, here, let me just log in real quick, pull it off my screen here. Give it a second while it logs in. This one's not super fast, but you can see I did a Wolfe one here in the past where my prompt was a wolf that's hyper realistic. But the funny thing is the wolf looks pretty okay straight on, right? Like that. But as soon as I turn it, you can see the nose somehow ended up on the neck. So it looks more like a cat. But, you know, it's, this is the best tool I've found so far that actually does text to 3D. I didn't add anything else other than this prompt right here, and it generated this. I did another one that was a human that's supposed to be a pirate 4K cartoon art station. If you do humans, it will actually try to animate the humans too. So this is what that pirate looked like. It looks more like some sort of mutant from like The Last of Us or something, but that's what it made for me. So check out Masterpiece X. You do get a certain amount of free credits to generate some stuff for free, and then if you like it and you want to generate more, I'm assuming you can pay to upgrade and get more credits. But they do let you generate, 4 or 5 things for free to test it out. I haven't paid anything for this yet. Here, let me move my camera around. I think it's better over there for this screen. All right, what else do we got? What else? Is there any AI tool that can help create photos with our own clothes like e-commerce type. So like changing the clothes but keeping the same head on the body, I guess, each time. Yeah, I mean, you can do that directly with Stable Diffusion. You can do that with any sort of in-painting, you know, any tool specifically designed to do that. I'm not actually sure. Let's see. There are like virtual try-on tools. So like onmodel.ai here. This is like a virtual try-on tool. So it's the same clothes but different model. I almost got the impression from the question from AI creativity. I almost got the impression that you wanted to use the same model but different clothes. I'm not sure. Maybe this does that as well. But that's something you can look into. Just look up virtual try-on. There are a handful of virtual try-on tools. Even if I just Google virtual try-on, there's like a Google thing. So there's a handful of tools that exist out there. It's not something I've personally had a use case for, but when I do come across them, I try to share them on the Future Tools website. Let's see here. Vicky O'Neill. Are there any video editing AI tools for raw video footage, for long form videos? My apologies if it was already asked. Nope, you're good. Hasn't been asked yet. Let's see. So the only tool that I use to edit videos actually doesn't use AI, but it might as well. It almost feels like AI. So I'm exposing my desktop a little bit here, but is this tool called TimeBolt. And if I open up TimeBolt here, I'll actually show you what this does. If I select a video that I recently recorded, let's see. I don't even remember what I recorded on October 26th, but this is a 3 GB file here. If I open it here, you can see what TimeBolt does for me real quick. Just give it a second. It'll do something eventually. You can see here that output is now shorter by 53 minutes and 41 seconds. Output duration, 29 minutes and 43 seconds. So this is a video that's about an hour and 20 minutes long. And all I did was open it up, and you can see it edited out any sort of dead air in the video. And so when people watch my videos and they go, oh, you edit too fast, you're editing, the pacing is too fast, you need to slow down the pacing. This is the reason why. It's because I record for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but there's a lot of dead air in there as I'm thinking about what to say next. And so I just need to go back and close all these gaps. And this tool goes back and closes all those gaps for me and gets rid of all the dead air. And that's why the editing feels so fast. I mean, look, here's like a good, like, several minutes where I'm not speaking. I'm either thinking about what I'm saying next, or I'm reading the article so I can make sure I'm explaining the article correctly. But there's a lot of dead air as I'm recording, and this TimeBolt tool automatically with one click goes and cuts out all that dead air. And so once I do that, I'll export it from this tool down here. I can add it to my render queue, export it out. Once I've exported it out, then I pull it into DaVinci Resolve and do any sort of additional editing. But I save so much time from just like clipping out all that dead air. That's the only thing that I use as part of my editing workflow for that really uses AI. Everything else is just sort of manual. There is a tool for Adobe Premiere, but because I don't use Adobe Premiere, I can't really leverage it very well. But there's a tool called Autopod. You can see this Autopod tool is really cool. This is a tool for if you're doing like a podcast interview, and let's say you have 3 different cameras. This will automatically cut between cameras. So it will automatically figure out who's speaking and make sure that the camera switches to the person that's actively speaking. And if you have a wide shot where you can see, let's say you have 3 cameras, one speaker, the other speaker, and then a wide shot of both speakers. This will automatically switch between whoever's speaking in the moment. And then you can set it so 10% of the time, it'll go to your wide shot and automatically cut to the wide shot, regardless of who's speaking. And it's a really, really cool tool for people who use Premiere. I'm really, really hoping that at some point soon, they also roll out a version for DaVinci Resolve, because I'm not ready to go learn a new editing tool yet. I like using DaVinci still. What else do we got? Have you heard from Mr. Beast after creating the Mr. Beast bot? I have not. I would love to hear from Mr. Beast. I've met a handful of people on the Mr. Beast team. A lot of those people were over at Vid Summit, but have not personally heard from Mr. Beast after that video. What was the name of the Twitter account that reviewed AI research papers from Archive? That was AK. So you go to Twitter. I search AK. That's not his actual Twitter handle. This is his actual Twitter handle. It's _AKHALIQ. Follow him. A lot of other people do. But he shares a lot of really cool research that comes out of archive.org. Let's see. Carlos says, are there better alternatives for free DALL-E rather than Bing Image Creator with its silly censorship? Not for DALL-E. I mean, DALL-E, you really have three options, right? DALL-E, you can either use it directly inside of ChatGPT, which censors it quite a bit. You can use it in Bing Image Creator, or you can use it directly in Bing Chat. All of them are going to censor it. If you want to use DALL-E, they're going to censor it. It's interesting because I haven't really found the limits of the censor. Some stuff that you think would be censored isn't, and some stuff that thinks that you wouldn't think would be censored is. But yeah, if you want to specifically use DALL-E, which is the most prompt adherent AI image generator there is, hands down, most prompt adherent, but also one of the most censored. So it's kind of unfortunate. But Midjourney version 6 claims should be this month, maybe next month at the latest. And supposedly the new version of Midjourney is going to get much more prompt adherent as well. Let's see. Jojo, I remember there was an AI bot to warn people about their language when they watch your YouTube live stream. Can you share what tool you use for that? I actually don't know what that is. It's not something that I use. Yeah, I think you might be thinking of a different YouTuber, because if I knew about it, I'd probably use it, but it's not something I've come across yet. Phillips9179, is anyone aware where I can create avatars where I can control their movements as well as their voice? I mean, so what you're looking for is like the VTuber kind of concept. There's Adobe Animator that does that. There's a new version in Adobe Express that does something similar, but it doesn't do it in real time. It's one of those rabbit holes I haven't gone down myself yet. But if you look at Adobe Express, they do have, oops, the wrong thing. You do go to Adobe Express, they have, where is it? Is it gone? Am I missing something? They do have like an animator tool that was in here when I made a video about it last week, but now I'm not seeing it. Here. There we go. Animate from audio. This one you can actually upload an audio file or record an audio file, and it will make the mouth and hands move to the audio, or you record the audio file right here. Maybe you can't upload it. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can upload an audio file or record an audio file right here, and it'll make the mouths move. The only problem with this is you can't create your own character. You're stuck using one of the characters that they have already. If you're going to use something like Adobe Animator or Character Animator, I think you can use your own characters in that, but you got to go create the characters first. Game On says, how have you made your life easier with all these AI tools? Well, it's made my business life a lot easier, right? So I use AI to keep up to date with the news. I use AI to automate my website. I've made a video about how AI is actually helping run future tools in the back end. I'm using AI to help check my grammar and readability on all of my newsletters. I'm using AI to help me make every single thumbnail I make. Almost all the thumbnails are made using either Midjourney, DALL-E, Leonardo, Stable Diffusion, Adobe's Generative Fill, or in most cases, a combination of most of those tools. So my daily life, I don't know, not a lot in like the personal life outside of what I'm doing for work, but my work life is a lot easier. I got these new AI sunglasses from Meta here that, I could put these on and actually talk to Meta's AI, but their Meta's AI isn't super great yet. Let me see. I wonder if you can actually hear it if I was to talk to them. Like, let me see here. Right now, just at battery 100%, but I don't know if I can make you guys hear what these headphones hear. Let's see. What's a question I can ask it? Hey Meta, what makes Llama better than ChatGPT? I have no idea if you guys could hear that or not. Did that actually come through? But these are these are the Meta Ray-Bans. I just asked it, and it said when I asked it, it said Llama has no benefits over ChatGPT is essentially what it said. So I got those like a week ago. I've been playing with those, but I mostly use them as like the first person view camera. Like I've went out and rode my bike and turned those on and recorded video, which has nothing to do with AI. It's just a cool thing that's built into them. Let me see. What other questions do we got over here? Vincent asks, any preferred AI program for logo or brand design? Logos, I would say Midjourney is probably still the best for logos. Or I would use the new Adobe Illustrator text to vector model for logos. That's probably your best bet, honestly, is the AI Illustrators or the Adobe Illustrators text to vector. I showed that off in one of the videos around Adobe's live event. Let's see, what else do we got? Nope, still no AI for filing your taxes yet. Nope, I still have a CPA that I send all that stuff to. Matt, are you AI? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. If I was an AI, I'm sure I'd be programmed to say that, though. Where can I add more characters? Because when I add my Instagram followers list to compare on GPT, it's always an error. I'm guessing because it's too much. I'm not following along to that question. That's from Driver Sensei here. Where can I add more characters? Because when I add my IG followers list to compare on GPT, it's always an error. Yeah, if you're talking about context windows, I would be looking at something like Claude as opposed to ChatGPT, but I'm not totally following along to that question. Isabella says, any free AI tool that can cut out a character from an image or make the background transparent, leaving the character in the image. There's quite a bit of tools out there now that can do that. You can actually do that directly in Photoshop with Photoshop's AI now as well. But there are definitely a handful of tools out there that will remove the background. If I go to Future Tools and I just type remove, let's see, remove background. I can type. I can't type and go live at the same time. What do we got? So Clip Drop, they've got these features in there. I'm pretty sure Runway has those features as well. But let's see, Clip Drop here. So in their tools, they've got remove background, so you can upload an image and have it remove the background from the image. They've got cleanup tool where you can upload an image and select a certain part of the image and it will remove that piece of the image. So I would just check out Clip Drop from Stability. They've got all those tools built into it. And I think you can use it a certain amount for free before it makes you log in and start paying. Let's see. Run through the Zapier automations. Best face swap you've tried so far. So the best face, so the Zapier automations, those are probably a little bit harder for me to run through. Let me see here. I do have a couple zaps running. Which ones do I have? So here's the news find that updates Webflow. This is the one that I showed you earlier where when I found a news article, I can just press this button and it sends it right over to Webflow for me. So what it does, it starts by creating a spreadsheet row in Google Sheets. Whenever a new push in Zapier from the Zapier Chrome extension, it then updates the date and time. so that it's in a, you know, a more readable time that Webflow would understand. It adds a row to Google spreadsheet, which you can actually see right here. I call it News Machine. This is every piece of news that's ever gone on the site. I have an archive of it. So this is all the news I've ever shared on the Future Tools website right here. And all of this is being fed into this Google Sheet here. You can see the title of the article, the URL to the article, the source website of the article, and the cleaned up date that it saved the article. So that's what the Zapier is doing right here, where it's updating the time and then adding it to a Google Sheet. And then it creates a live item in Webflow. And the action inside of Webflow is it, you know, adds the article URL, adds a reference equals Future Tools to the end of the URL, adds the source, adds the date, adds the title, and then automatically publishes it to Webflow. So that's that whole workflow right there. You know, if you know what you're doing with Zapier, you can always screenshot this and build something similar. Oh, shoot. I'm not sharing my screen. Dang it. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is my Zapier account here. Yeah, I feel like an idiot now. So this is my Zapier workflow here. So remember when I looked at a news article, I pressed this little Zapier button here. That's my Chrome extension Zapier button. And then when you press this button, it then formats the date into a date that's readable, and then it adds it to a Google Sheet. And then I was showing off that I literally have a Google Sheet of every single news article I've ever shared on the website here, because these were all added via Zapier here. So going all the way back to January of 2023, I literally have a timeline of all of the news that came out for 2023 in the AI world right here. So maybe at the end of December, I'll probably make a video that's like, you know, I'm not going to recap 955 articles, but, you know, here's the 20 biggest things to happen in the AI world in 2023, and I can reference this spreadsheet. But then once it adds it to a Google Sheet, then it adds it to Webflow based on the information inside of this Google Sheet here. So that's the Zapier flow. Once again, I mentioned it when my face was on camera, but if you want to screenshot this, you know, screenshot this, don't screenshot my face. But that is the flow. Sorry about that screw up, guys. I need to look at my second monitor more often when I'm getting into a rant here. All right. Luma AI can now do text to 3D on Discord. Ooh, let's check that out. Here, you're gonna see a little behind the scenes. This is John here feeding me the questions to read on screen. But I think I'm in Luma's. I'm in way too many Discords, by the way, guys. Way too many. Let me see if I can find the Luma Discord. I feel like I'm in it. Runway, Kyber, Leonardo, Run to Fusion, Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, to Forum. Maybe I'm not in the Luma AI Discord. I definitely want to test out some text to 3D here with Luma. All right, I'm going to move this off the screen for now. I did want to actually play around with some of these new Leonardo features as well. So the Leonardo Alchemy V2 just came out, and I did have a call with the guys over at Leonardo. Well, one of the guys over at Leonardo on Monday, and I thought it would be fun to test out some of these new models that they just added in. But I thought it'd be cool to test it out based on prompts that you guys suggest. So if you have any ideas of things you want me to test out in Leonardo, I'd love to play around with them. Let me actually pull up my notes here from our call. So the Alchemy version 2, the photorealism, he told me that's like really, really up-leveled. The photorealism has gotten a lot better. They have this new random prompt feature. So if I just don't put any prompt here, I can just click new random prompt. It'll just think of something random that we can generate AI around, like this. An electrifying concoction of colors, blah, blah, blah. Let me turn off photo real. But if we go ahead and actually start it with a prompt, like let's say I type in like race car, and then I click this button, I could click improve prompt. And based off just this race car, it's going to write this much more in-depth prompt here for me. Let's see. I've got the alchemy refiner now, image guidance. Yeah. So if you guys have anything you want me to prompt in Leonardo, I'd want to try their new alchemy v2 that's out and see how much better it is than the older version. Let's see. WDW mainline. Are there any text-to-speech applications you can run locally that do something similar to 11 Labs? Yeah, so if you watch my video, I actually put out a video yesterday. I don't know. They all blur together. I actually put out a video yesterday called like the AI Swiss Army knife, all about Pinocchio, this Pinocchio tool here. Check that out because there are some text-to-speech models in it. I couldn't get them to work in the video, but after I recorded the video, they got them working. I was actually, while I was recording the video, I was going back and forth with the company that made that Pinocchio tool on Discord. And after the video was finalized, they had actually fixed the issue that I was running into playing around with the text-to-speech model. So yeah, I would look into Bark, and if you want the easiest way to set up Bark, you can do it straight inside of Pinocchio. I believe there's a Hugging Face space where you can play around with Bark as well. So let me just search out Bark here. You got Koki Bark. Is that pronounced Koki or Kokwi? I don't even know. But you've got a handful of Bark voice cloning tools here on Hugging Face that you can use. You've got Koki, Kokwi. So play around with some of those, but they also have them built into Pinocchio. You could use them in that as well. What else? Canva AI features, your thoughts, please. I haven't actually tried a lot of the Canva AI features. Let's see. Ducky is also asking, where can we ask you questions or suggest you some video ideas or video ideas for automations with Make or Zapier? So come over to the Future Tools Discord. John and I are me and John and Zeno, we're trying to get this Discord really cranking again. I'm popping in there every day and responding to people as questions pop up. But we are cleaning it up. There's a lot of rooms in here now. We're actually going to narrow it down to only like 8 rooms, so it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to know where to post. But we are in the process of overhauling this Discord, and you can see right here, there is a room called Suggest a Video. So if you do have ideas for things that you want to see me make videos around, pop in here because we are checking into this Discord a lot more frequently than we were. We're 30 members away from cracking 12,000 members. So if you're not in the Discord, this is the best way. People are constantly asking me, hey, I've emailed you, I haven't heard back. I've DM'd you, I haven't heard back. Those places are a mess. But I do check into Discord every day, and I am responding inside of the community. So if somebody wants to reach me directly, the Discord's the best way, and hands down. All right, let me see here. What else do we got? Yeah, Canva AI features. Sorry, I skipped over that. I actually haven't played with them a whole lot yet, but I do use Canva a lot. You can see a lot of my thumbnails. I finalize them in Canva here. So I am using Canva, but I haven't actually played with the AI features a whole lot yet. So I don't really have a lot of feedback on it. But most of their AI features are existing AI features from other tools, right? So like, when you generate images, I can't remember if they're using DALL-E or Firefly or Stable Diffusion, but they're using one of the existing ones. When you do go generate text to video, they're using Runway Gen 2's model. The only AI feature I ever really use inside of Canva is the background remover. I use that quite a bit, actually, where I'll, if I show you like one of my uploads here, I might take a random AI generated image like this, go to edit image and use the background remover, and that supposedly is using AI to remove the background. And that's really the only AI feature I ever really play with, but I use that one like almost daily. Let's see. Yono is asking, is there an AI tool like ChatGPT for Excel yet? I've played around with the plugins, but not much success. I haven't found any that work really well with Excel, but Microsoft is rolling out their own. Right, so the Microsoft Office Copilot 365 or whatever, does have AI built into Excel. I don't know if that's rolled out to everybody yet, or if it's just like select trusted members or whatever they call it. But they are rolling it out, so it will just be built into Excel in the near future. Michael, hey Matt, is YouTube your full-time job, or do you actually have a normal job? Yes, well, YouTube / Future Tools / my newsletter / my full-time job is a work from home job, right? Like I'm self-employed. I do YouTube. I run a newsletter. I run the Future Tools website, and then I also do have some investments, and I do some investing as well. But I don't have another job. I don't work for somebody else. I don't go into an office every day or anything like that. My job is pretty much to keep my finger on the pulse of AI news, keep my finger on the pulse of AI tools, create content around it, keep the Future Tools website updated around it. And then, I also make some strategic investments based on what I'm learning in the process. All right, jumping back over to Leo here. Here's the car. When I entered race car, here's the prompt that it filled out for me. And here's the race car images that it generated. Curious if anybody else has any other prompts they want me to try here. Yeah, Alex said XTTS is probably the best. I do agree that XTTS is probably the best when it comes to voice cloning. That's also what that Koki or Kokwi uses, or Cookie. Oops, did somebody say it's pronounced Cookie? Man, all of my potential pronunciations must have been wrong. Is it actually Cookie? Yeah, so with that Cookie tool, I believe that's actually using XTTS as well. XTTS seems to be the most realistic sounding, the closest to 11 Labs, but it doesn't work in that Pinocchio tool. There might be a Hugging Face space that you can use it with. I believe there actually is. Let me see. XTTS. The space is. Yeah, so there is a Hugging Face space where you can use this XTTS, and this one's pretty good. This is like 11 Labs, similar to 11 Labs and free to use. You can also install it locally on your computer if you know what you're doing. But that one does work, Alex. I agree. That's actually probably better than Bark for that. Let's see. What else do we got? What else? All right. What are your thoughts on Corridor's rock, paper, scissors anime? I thought it was really cool. I shared it on Twitter when they first published it. I really liked what they did there. The funny thing is they made that video and then they made an updated one, 2 months after that one. And I think even since they made that updated one, the technology has advanced so much better that they can even probably make a better one even now. But I thought it was really cool. I know there was a lot of drama around it and people getting upset, but I don't really feel like it's going to replace animation. I still think there's an art to animation, and people appreciate the artists and the art that went into the animation. It's like the difference between buying something that was handcrafted and buying something that was IKEA. Like, the handcrafted stuff clearly has more value because we know that human hands spent a lot of time and effort on that. And I feel like art and anime and video and all that, it's still going to be the same way. I still think that people are going to really, really appreciate artists who still know how to do it with their hands versus AI. So I feel like a lot of the controversy on that kind of thing was overblown, but that's just my thoughts on it. Is there a real-time AI version of Face Swap? I see a plugin that does it for Zoom with the president's real-time. I'm sure there is. I remember seeing one. I haven't tested it myself yet. Let's see, is this one real time? No, this one's not real time. There's definitely one that I came across. I just don't remember what it's called. And it looked like it worked with OBS and tools like that as well. Face swap by yeah, most of them I think you got to upload a video and then it'll swap the face. I saw one at SIGGRAPH. Somebody at SIGGRAPH actually demoed one on stage that worked really well. Oh, swap face might be it. Yeah. So you can check out swapface.org. It says here the most light, hyper-realistic, real-time, easy-to-use AI beauty filter. They call it a beauty filter, but it's called Swap Face. So, pretty sure you can just use it to swap faces, and it's not just a beauty filter. Yeah, this is the only one that I've come across so far, though, is this Swap Face. Looks like they have a free demo that you can try, and then after a certain amount of time, you got to upgrade with credits or something, though. But that's the only one that I've come across myself, but again, haven't actually played with it. Have you built any tools with Pico? I have not. Let's see. I haven't really played a whole lot with Pico. If it's similar to Mind Studio, I've built stuff with Mind Studio, but I haven't used this one a whole lot yet. So this one's more like an app builder, simply describe your app idea in detail as you would to a friend. Pico builds it. Pico deploys it. No, this is one that I'll definitely have to play around with some more, though. How much does it cost to use? Not too bad, actually. Yeah, I haven't played with this much yet, but it's, you know, now that it's kind of back on my radar, it's one that I will definitely be looking into more. All right, so this vet snuff said, has a prompt they want me to try: a sleek white humanoid robot with glowing blue eyes standing in a futuristic laboratory filled with high-tech equipment. Now, should I do it realistic or should I do it not realistic? Let's go ahead and just do it not realistic, and then I'll turn on photoreal and generate it with photoreal as well. You use AI for investing. That's from Luzanne Rock. I haven't really used AI for investing. I do have an IRA account that is using Wealthfront, which I think Wealthfront might use some AI for investing, but that's just my IRA, so that's money that I still won't see for like 20 years. They have some sort of automated investment thing that it's doing behind the scenes. But no, I don't actually use AI much for my own investments. I am looking at AI tools and I invest in AI tools, but I still kind of do all the vetting. I mean, most of what I'm doing is like, you know, tools that I get excited about, I think are worth investing in. So my investments are mostly tools that I'm like, A, is this something I'm excited about? B, is this something that Microsoft or Google or one of the big incumbent tools, is it something that they're not going to be able to just go and clone and put that company out of business tomorrow, right? Like we're seeing all these tools that are like, read my PDF for me or chat with my PDF kind of tools. And then ChatGPT comes in and says, look, you can just chat with your PDFs directly inside of ChatGPT now. And Claude comes out with a 100K context window where you can upload PDFs and says, look, you can just chat with PDFs now. And overnight, why would anybody go and pay for a chat with my PDF tool? So, you know, I like tools that get me excited and tools that have at least some sort of moat around them where, you know, Google or Microsoft aren't going to just go, all right, well, that's a cool feature. Let's implement it into something we already got. What are good resources for fine tuning according to you? Fast and low code. I don't actually do any fine tuning. So I haven't personally done any fine tuning of models. I do use like vector database stuff where, like what I did with the Mind Studio video where I was making the AI Mr. Beast bot. That's basically vector embeddings where what it will do is you ask a question, it sort of queries all the information from the uploaded content, finds the pieces that are relevant to you, and then goes to the large language model with your question plus the additional information that it got from the additional context that you gave it, and then ask the question of the large language model with the additional embedded information in it. In my opinion, that's probably the better way. I don't think fine tuning is as necessary as most people think. But I haven't done any fine tuning myself. I just use the vector embeddings and have done it that way. And if you want to see how I did that, watch the video called like I made AI Mr. Beast. And then it says like bot tutorial or something like that. We're probably actually going to change the name of that one. You know, John and I were talking earlier today, and that one I'm probably going to retitle that video. But yeah, I do have a bot tutorial of how I do that, but I use vector embeddings, not fine tuning. I just think fine tuning is not something that's really, really necessary for most people. Is there something that can read your code, like all the GitHub repo code, so you can ask it to make things to it? Yeah, ChatGPT. ChatGPT does that really well. I will copy and paste code from you know, when I made a video game, right? I made a YouTube video of how I made a video game using ChatGPT. And in that video, I kept on copying my code, pasting it into ChatGPT, you know, letting it know what bugs were in it or what thing I wanted to add to it next. And I would have ChatGPT suggest the update for me, right? So I would just go back and forth with ChatGPT. There's also GitHub Copilot. There's Amazon Code Whisperer. There's a handful of tools that are designed and more fine-tuned on code. Me personally, I've just used ChatGPT for it so far, and it did the trick. Rich says, hey, Matt, coming in late here. Did you talk about GPT's new multimodal PDF upload? Does anyone here have it yet? I don't believe I have it. Actually, let me just check. Nope, I still don't have it. Mine's all still split up. I don't have the all version yet. So I'm still waiting. I know a lot of other people are still waiting, but not in my account yet. Paul Evans, website improvement suggestions for each tool listed. Have a YouTube link to the timestamp where you did the review of it. I like that idea. I was actually on the website. I used to post all the video. Whenever I made a video about a tool, I would put it in the tool. I haven't been lately, and it's not for any specific reason other than I keep forgetting to do it. But if you look at some of like the older tools, like let's say Midjourney, that's been on the website for a long time. If I click into the Midjourney thing here, you can see it's got a relevant videos section of all the videos where I have Midjourney tutorials. Something that I definitely need to do more often again. I do have one person that helps me run the Future Tools website. So something that I'll probably either have him do or, you know, find somebody who wants to help me do that, because it is something that would be, you know, extra time consuming to add. But I do like that idea a lot. I know one of the big issues I have with my YouTube channel, and I've mentioned it on Twitter, is that when you look at my channel, especially with like the news videos, they're all such like vague titles. And that's not me trying to clickbait people, right? Like the latest AI news, AI's most insane week. The amount of AI news this week was insane. Most insane week of AI. For whatever reason, when I use the word insane, they do well. All of the AI news is getting absolutely crazy. AI news is getting out of hand, right? Like the titles are vague. I know they're vague. I'm not trying to clickbait people. It's just every one of those news videos, I talk about 20 different things. And so, you know, John, aka Craze here, he can attest to the fact that we spend more time trying to think of titles and thumbnails than we actually do making the videos themselves. I would say an average video takes between 2 and 3 hours to make. We spend oftentimes 7 or 8 hours going back and forth on how the thumbnail should look and what the title should be. And the news videos are the hardest because we talk about so much in them. And the problem is, if I made an AI news video that just sort of lists off the things that are in that video in the title, A, the title will be too long. But B, if anybody's heard of, let's say I list 3 different things in the title, if people already know those 3 things, they'll assume the video is just about those three things and not click on them, right? So it's like we're trying to balance, how do we encompass this week in AI with the title while talking about 20 different things? And that's sort of been a struggle, and we're constantly trying to figure out how do we do our naming conventions and our thumbnail conventions to help people better understand what they're going to get in the video, but also kind of be an all-encompassing title. And one of the ways we're going to start to do that is put more of what we talk about in the video in the thumbnail, but then the title is going to be a little bit broader. But the other way we've talked about doing that is having like a Discord bot, and the Discord bot would have like what you could go and ask the Discord bot, like, what tool would be best for generating text to 3D, and it would actually search the transcripts of all the videos and then say, well, in this video, Matt talked about this text to 3D video, right? So we're trying to create this Discord bot that can sort of talk to all the YouTube videos to help get you to the video that you're looking for. But I also like the idea of the future tools like timestamp concept. That's something that I'll have to talk to my guy who helps me run the Future Tools website about a way to implement that isn't too overwhelming or too time consuming. I need to take a sip of water. All right, machine. Oh wait, we didn't actually look at these images. So here's the one with photo real. Here's the ones not using photo real. They all look pretty similar. Let's see. Machine Shop says, how about a spider looking out from a cup that is laying on the ground? I'm going to plug that in here. I see that people have been feeding me prompts, and I've just been going off on rants and not responding to these prompts. So let's try some of these. All right, I'm going to skip past these prompts and come back to some of them, though. How long should I go? I was thinking about going 90 minutes, but I'm about to approach 90 minutes right now. Somebody also asked about where to find the Future Tools Discord. I made an easy redirect link, just futuretools.io/discord. So if you just go there, that'll redirect you straight to the Discord. But also, it's linked at the bottom of the Future Tools website. You can't scroll to the bottom because it's an infinite scroll page, but if you click on any one of the tools, let's just click into this Rival Flow tool. If I scroll to the bottom, there is a Discord link at the bottom too, but you do have to click into one of the tools because of the homepage infinite scrolling. By the way, Future Tools is getting a major overhaul in the beginning of the new year. I've actually partnered with somebody who is going to help me overhaul the site. So concept's going to be the same, but I think the user interface and user experience is going to get better. So always open to hearing feedback and ideas on how to improve the site. And beginning of next year, we're going to start on a lot of the overhauls. I've already added a bunch of new features, right? Like I've added a dark mode, which was highly requested. I've added the ability to, if you click into one of these tools, you can suggest changes, and I will, update images or update descriptions or remove dead links if you tell me that, one of the product links is dead. So we're constantly keeping the website up to date on a daily basis because of some of these new things that we've added in here. So here's our spider looking out from a cup that is laying on the ground. This first one's pretty dang good. I mean, the cup itself has its own leg, but if you were to use like, if we were to do some like in painting, you could probably clean some of this up, but ignore this extra long leg and this leg coming out here. It's pretty good with the spider and the cup. Let's see, Spider-Man and Batman playing chess. Let's try that. Let's see. So we got some other prompts here we can try. Any suggestions for architecture and interior design? There's actually, I feel like I'm just pitching Future Tools, but luckily it's a free site, so nothing out of pocket. But if you come over here and do like interior, we've got all sorts of interior AI, Kool-Aid AI, Dreamhouse AI, Room GPT, Visualize AI, AI TWO, My Room Designer. There's an AI floor plan creator, Jive, a tool for interior design generation. So literally just head over to Future Tools and click interior, and like there's a ton of them. Let's see, did we get our Spider-Man? Oh, nice! That actually looks pretty dang good. Spider-Man's hands got a little messed up there, but I'm actually pretty impressed with these. Still struggles with hands, though. Still struggles with hands. And Spider-Man got some ears, which I don't think Spider-Man normally has ears. Not bad, though. Honestly, those are pretty good. Cute humanoid hugging a kitten. That prompt is from Karan. I don't know if it's Karan, Karen. Try that one. Let's see. John Max Mena says, "Hey Matt, question about your tidbit. Can it be set up to just show score of one baseball game only? Go Padres." Yes, go Padres, even though they didn't have a great year. Yeah, you can set it up to just stay on one screen. In fact, it all happens through my mobile phone here. Let me see something. Let me see if I can change it right now. Oh, hey, Luma AI actually just sent me a direct message telling me they added new features. So awesome. I do have a tidbit app on here. See it here, and you can see here's all the different like screens that I have on my tidbit that I can change it between. And if I wanted to just say, I mean, there's no Padre game right now, obviously, but if there was, I can pin it. But let's say I wanted to do just this peanut butter jelly time animation. I can actually long press it, and then it gives me the option. Oh, hold on. Come on. Not showing up when I'm trying to turn my camera, but if I long press it, it gives me the option to pin it. Yeah, it's not letting me turn it to my camera, but I can pin it. And so if I long press it and pin it, it just switched to the dancing banana, and it will just stay on the dancing banana until I unpin it. Let's see. But you can also do that with like the Padres score too. If there's a game going on right now and you just want the Padres score to show, you just pin the Padres score and it'll just stay on there. Let's see. Techno Padres says, "What about a bot character prompt design for a web?" Bot character prompt design. I'm not following that question. Maybe if you can re-ask that question, I'd love to give an answer, but I'm not following what you mean by a bot character prompt design. Let's see. Felipe says, "Is there a direct voice to image video AI tool?" Voice to image video. I don't know. I mean, there's tools like HeyGen and DID, right? So you've got HeyGen, HeyGen.com. You've got HeyGen.com, which you can upload voices, and I believe it'll make your character, the mouth match the voice. DID does that as well. Those are two tools to check out. That might be what you're asking. But you can upload text, and based on what's in the text, the character that you've got there will actually speak the text out. Those are the two tools that do that. I'm not quite sure, Felipe, if that's what you're asking, but check those out. If it's not what you're asking, maybe shoot me the question again. TG Look No Hands. How close are we to an AI tool that would take a musician's catalog or album as input and straight up generate a new original novel song in their same style? A new song from a deceased artist. Well, they are doing something with the Beatles, right? Where they actually got some old tape from John Lennon, trained his voice on it, and they're able to sort of finish out the song. Taking a whole catalog, I mean, right now you would still need, I think, somebody to come in and sing the lyrics and then use one of the tools that, like the Sovitz SVC or something like that. You would still need something like that to translate it to the singer's voice. I don't know of any tools in the works where you just upload an entire artist's catalog and it will generate new songs that sound like that artist. I do think it's possible. I also do think it's probably not too far in the future. But I also know the record companies are going to fight it hand in tooth, and there's going to be lawsuits around something like that. YouTube is also trying to get access to generate music based on styles of other musicians and fairly compensate the musicians. So there's stuff like that in the works. How quickly public will get their hands on it, I honestly don't know. It's not something I have a lot of interest in doing myself. I don't know. There's something to me about knowing that a band got together and created music versus an AI generated the music that makes that special. It's just like the same analogy I talked about earlier, where you've got the, like, IKEA made furniture and you've got handmade furniture. Well, the handmade furniture is always more valuable. You've got music that was generated by AI, and you've got music where a drummer, a bass player, a guitar player, a singer, a keyboardist all got into a studio, all got into a flow state together, jammed out, and made something magical. That's always going to have more value to me over something that was generated with AI. So it's not something that I've really put too much thought into or gone down the rabbit hole, but as tools like that come out, I'll probably be reporting on them and playing around with them a little bit. But nothing that on my radar right now that's that close to just uploading a catalog of songs and making new songs based on what it sounded like. Let's see. Alexandru. Hi, I released a hyper magazine. I sent you a message on Twitter about it. It has 47 pages and 100 hyperlinks. Cool. I would recommend jumping into the Discord and sending it there. Again, the Discord is the best place to reach me directly. DMs are rough because I do get somewhere around 50 DMs a day on Twitter right now. I probably get over 100 emails a day. So when it comes to those places, I tend to not check in as often. I do have like a management team who reviews like sponsorship proposals and things like that. That pass through them before making it to me, but Discord is the place where I'm hanging out and trying to answer questions and trying to do my best to engage as much as possible and answer questions outside of live streams like this. Dang. All right, I think I'm almost caught up with the questions that John sent me here. So Yono says, heading out, but update on Copilot. It went live today, November 1st. Update your Office, and it should allow you to add it as add-ins. So that's awesome. So the person who was asking earlier about Excel with AI in it, it might actually be available today. Yeah, the AI is making history right now with the Beatles premiere this afternoon. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, was it today or tomorrow? For some reason, I was thinking November 2nd, but you might be right. It might be today. I know I shared it in here. November 2nd. Oh, no, wait. You're right. The last song debuts on November 1st. The song drops November... Wait, what the heck? Now and Then, the last Beatles song, which is like a little mini documentary, debuts today. The song drops November 2nd, and the music video drops November 3rd. Okay. So I remember hearing November 2nd somewhere, but you're right. It looks like the last Beatles song, the little mini documentary about it, drops today, which I'm assuming will have the song in it so people can hear it. Let's see. Video da video. Is there a tool that will accept a 1.5 hour podcast transcript and create summaries, various lengths, and also produce a list of usable keywords? There are. Once again, I'm going to go over to future tools. I actually have a category here called podcasting. There's a handful of tools that do that kind of stuff. So you got, let's see here. Melville does AI powered copywriting. Decipher AI does timestamps and summarizes your entire podcast transcript for you. Let's see here. Cast Magic is an automated post-production tool. Sonics does transcriptions, translation, and subtitling. So yeah, if you head over to Future Tools, again, I swear I wasn't intending on just making this like a Future Tools infomercial, but if you click on podcasting and scroll through some of the tools here, Podwise, a tool for podcasters to take notes and knowledge management. There's a ton of stuff for podcasters in here. Let's see. Is there an AI generated Matt? Not yet. Well, not an AI generated Matt Wolfe. I'm sure there's an AI generated Matt somewhere. I haven't made an AI generated Matt yet, but something I plan on playing around with in the future. So what is your comment on their use of AI to revive John? I think it's great. I mean, the fact that I believe like Yoko is involved in the process, and the estate approves of it and everything. I think it's really cool. I mean, I think that's one of the beauties of AI, is that we will be able to sort of revive some of these artists. I just think it needs to be done in a respectful way where, the estate of the artist or the spouse of the artist or whatever is on board with it and okay with it. But I think the fact that we might get new songs from long gone artists is actually pretty amazing. Let's see. Can you show how to join the Discord server? People are having a hard time with reacting to gain access to the whole server. Let me see. I'm not sure how to show it off since I'm already in there and I am an admin. But if you go to, let's see, futuretools.io/Discord, it will redirect you to that invite link. And then when you get to this page, you've got this rules start here page. All you got to do is read the rules and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you read the rules. Once you've clicked that little thumbs up button, you should see access to all the rest of the rooms. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes. You might give that thumbs up button and not see access immediately. That just means a whole bunch of people are probably doing it at the exact same time, and you just got to give the Discord server a second to catch up. Let's see. Have you released any music, Matt? I see banjo in the back. Would love to hear you play. I used to be in bands. I did record in a studio here in San Diego with two of the bands that I was in. There is music floating around somewhere. I know I definitely have it on old like burned CDs somewhere around my house. I don't play as often as I used to. I don't even know if my guitars are in tune right now because it's been a little bit since I've actually picked one up and played. But I think at some point I will probably make some music for some of my videos and use it as background music, or if I can figure out a way to work the music into one of my videos, I likely will. I just haven't in a while. Haven't actually played a whole lot lately. I've been pretty consumed with keeping up with the business and trying to automate stuff and trying to keep the YouTube channel on track. And when I'm not doing that, I've got a wife and I've got an 8-year-old and I've got a 10-year-old. So when I'm not at my computer heads down doing this stuff, I like to be spending my time with them. We've been going on a lot of camping trips. Contrast the fact that I'm like so into AI and tech and futurism stuff. What we do in our downtime is we go camping and we go into the woods and we go out to places where I can't even get internet service if I wanted to. And we, touch grass, touch dirt, go on hikes, ride our bikes. Ooh, that rhymed. I haven't actually been playing my guitar as much as I used to, but I do want to pick it up again and start getting back into practice. Man, I am losing my voice. I was planning on going 90 minutes. I have gone, what has it been? An hour and 45 minutes. So I've gone over what I was planning to, but man, I always hate to shut things down when people are still hanging out with us. Let's see, how is this looking right now? There's still 445 of you watching right now. So I hate to just be like, all right, peace, when there's still so many people hanging out. Why go outside when we have AI and VR? Lots of fire ants in the grass. All right, I'm reviewing some of the comments here that I've missed already. Yeah, Ryan's clarifying they're not exactly recreating his voice. They're just cleaning up the recordings. I do think it's cool that they can recreate people's voices now, though. Let's see. I've made an AI version of myself with 3 different tools. Can I get John Lennon to sing my song now? I don't know if I will get the permission from the John Lennon estate to have John Lennon's voice. That's one thing that I'm very cautious to do, is when I have what I do on YouTube, I want to try to stay above board. I want to kind of be as ethical as possible. I want to have permission when using other people's stuff. When I learn stuff from other people, I like to give credit where credit's due. I want to just always kind of be that person who's who's not really crossing gray area lines too much. I like to stick on the more ethical end as much as possible. So You probably won't catch it. You probably won't see many videos from me about here's how to go and make voices or music that sounds like Kanye or things like that. It's not really in my wheelhouse. Although I would be curious to know how it's done. I just don't think I would make videos publicly about how to go and commit copyright infringement. Let's see. What else? Andy, would be cool idea if there was a Matt Wolfe AI that you can always chat with. Yeah, I think we're actually talking about doing something like that in the Discord just for fun. Training it on a bunch of my past podcasts, a bunch of my past YouTube videos, and then ideally it would answer in a way that I would answer based on all of its training data. But there's a handful of Discord bots that we're talking about creating just to add more value and more reasons to come check out the Discord. The YouTube bot being one of them, where you can find any specific YouTube video or any tool that I mentioned in a YouTube video, but also one where you could chat with me and it sort of would answer like me. I think that'd be fun. And then maybe every once in a while I'll pop in there in real life, and then you guys have to decide if it's me or the me AI. Create my own version of a reverse Turing test in there. See who can tell if it's really me or not. Carlos said, what style of music do you play? I mean, I love all music. When I pick up the guitar and play, I'm usually playing classic rock, 70s stuff, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Boston, that kind of stuff. When I played in bands, I was actually in pop punk bands. So we, when we first got started, we covered bands like Blink-182 and Fall Out Boy and, Bad Religion and Pennywise and the Vandals, and it was a lot of like pop punk type stuff when I actually played in bands. But when I play just for fun and I pick up to just like mess around on my guitar, I'm usually playing classic rock. What else? Just kind of reading through the last comments. I think I'm almost caught up, which I didn't think I would do. So let's see. I just saw a question, but it scrolled past. Somebody asked, I already missed the question, so I don't know exactly what it was, but somebody asked in the Discord, where can you suggest questions? If you jump into the Discord, here you can see there's a suggest a video section, and it looks like Shuffy just asked a question. So that's the room to do it, and I'm going to make sure I mark these last two as unread so I don't miss them again later. And because I'm on a stream, it's actually hiding most people's usernames. So that's the Discord there. Oops, I closed it. I still need it open. I'm still getting fed questions. All right, now the questions are moving too fast. How can I create images with idea to image? Idea to image. Is that one that maybe isn't available yet? I feel like that was one I showed off. Yeah, so this one isn't available yet. It looks like it's coming out from Microsoft, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that gets worked into like the Bing tools or something like that. But as of right now, idea to image isn't available for people to use, it doesn't look like. How do you know when you have a new ChatGPT update? Well, one of the ways I know is under this big tech feed here, I'm subscribed to OpenAI's blog. So I find out about the newest stuff from OpenAI by just keeping up with their blog here. But, the other way is I literally just check into ChatGPT like every day. And usually I'll log out and log back in. Because sometimes, here, I'm going to actually log out off screen real quick. And then log myself back in. And then so I just logged out and logged back in. And sometimes logging out and logging in, you'll see you'll get a little announcement saying that there's been updates. Dolly 3, I think, was just added. One day I opened this little drop down and Dolly 3 was just there. The other thing, I always check the settings in beta, click on beta features, and make sure there's nothing that I can turn on here. But I do it manually like that. I just kind of check in on a daily basis to see if there's anything new in there. Let's see. When a person goes live, they can't handle all the incoming questions. They have mods filter through the questions and ask them, but Matt has answered your question 2 times. Let's see. What's the top tools that you find fun to use almost every day? I mean, ChatGPT and Claude get a lot of use. They're my therapists and my consultants and my go-to for concepts for YouTube videos. But I think Midjourney and Leonardo are probably my 2 favorite tools to actually play with frequently. Like, I love just generating images. I don't know if you guys have seen, if you go to midjourney.com now, they actually just updated the website. So let me sign in here. Get this off the screen. If you sign up and if you go to midjourney.com now, they actually sort of overhauled their site, which is a lot better because this search is like really, really good. And I'll just go ahead and type Wolfe because that's what I always type. And we can see all of the images that have been generated recently with a wolf in them. And then if you look at your own images, I've got a tab called My Images. I could quickly search all of the images I've ever generated in Midjourney, and you can see I create quite a bit. You can see by how far I've scrolled so far over here on the right. I have a lot of images in here. I've been creating with Midjourney since last year. Yeah, so I've got stuff going all the way back to July 14th of 2022. But this search even works really well inside of your own Midjourney. So again, if I type Wolfe here, you can see all the images that had Wolfe inside of the generation. It's showing these penguins here because I'm pretty sure the prompt was, subscribe to Matt Wolfe. But it's, you can see all of the prompts that I did that showed Wolfe. I think it's loading slow just because I'm streaming. Typically, these images load like instantly. And we have some winners like this one. Let's see. How do you know when you have the new chat? Okay, AI Cowgirl. Any recommendations for a writing tool for comics that are PG-13-ish? Claude and ChatGPT fights me on some topics. Comic is named Starship 420, so you can see why it fights me a bit. I mean, I would look into Leonardo. The cool thing about Leonardo as well is that they have a ton of different models. So if I just go back to the homepage here and click on fine-tune models here, they have a ton of different models, and I'm pretty sure they have one that's like comic book style as well. So, and this one, there's no censorship. Leonardo is using Stable Diffusion underneath the hood, and so there's absolutely zero censorship. You could put whatever you want on it, right? So, let me try a 420 related prompt. If there's any kids on this stream, earmuffs. Snoop Dogg smoking joint. Let's see. AI Advantage. Oh, we got Igor on the stream. What's up, man? You and I have to do like a collab live stream sometime. So he's asking, what are you expecting from the dev conference next Monday? It sounds like they're planning on rolling out some new announcements. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be new stuff or if the big talk is going to be the fact that you can now do it all in one, right? I think they might show off some of the different ways that you can use the all-in-one feature where you're going back and forth between DALL-E and then Vision and, working code interpreter into it and showing ways to combine all of these things. Obviously I'm not expecting anything like a GPT-5. What I think would be really cool, I'm not optimistic, but what I think would be really cool is if they roll out their 32K context window into ChatGPT for Plus users. That's what I'd love to see. But again, just knowing the API costs of GPT-4 and the fact that you're only paying $20 a month for Plus, I highly doubt they're going to roll out the 32,000 context for GPT-4 users, but I would love to see it. And there you go. You got Snoop Dogg. It looks more like a cigarette than a joint, but, you know, it's not censoring anything. Let's see. Robert says, any idea when Claude is available in Europe? I don't know, actually. I haven't heard anything about it. I wonder if Claude knows how to answer that. Yeah, I don't know. I actually haven't heard anything. Yeah, it doesn't have any specific info. Pretty much the answer we all expected. I haven't heard anything. I do have a contact over at Anthropic that I can shoot a DM and ask. That's a good question to throw into the Discord, because then I can ask the people at Anthropic, and if I get a response, jump into the Discord and let you know. Ooh, so Ryan West said someone dug into the code and found that the all tool stuff is getting 32K. So maybe that will be the announcement at the dev conference for OpenAI next week, is that they now have 32K context window in there. That would be awesome. I mean, it's still not the 100K that you get out of Claude, but you know, that combination of 32,000 context window, DALL-E, advanced code, what do they call it? Advanced code analytics and advanced code. What the hell do they call that thing? No, don't go Chase. Advanced data analytics. Imagine having internet browsing, advanced data analytics, DALL-E 3, plugins, GPT-4 vision, and a 32,000 context window. Now you're getting to a point where it's like, we're going to have so many new ideas of ways to use ChatGPT that people aren't even thinking of yet. And I think at the dev conference, that's going to be the talk, is how do we combine all these in really creative, useful ways. And Ryan also said many who have it already have confirmed that that's legit. So that's awesome. That's something I'm super excited about. I really want to get my hands on it. I tried complaining on Twitter, hoping that OpenAI would see it and give me access, but apparently that's not how it's done. Do you think Google Bard AI will ever overtake ChatGPT? Hard to say, because, you know, the Gemini model is coming out at some point, and supposedly Gemini is a lot better than GPT-4. You know, that's their words though, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But it's really hard to say. I think Gemini will be a powerful large language model, and Gemini will be what's behind Bard once it comes out. So I'm not counting Google out. I never would count Google out. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. Is that Alice? ALCE said that Claude is available in the UK. So I don't know. I'm not in the UK. I could probably switch my VPN over to being in the UK and see, but I don't want to switch my VPN while in the middle of a live stream. Is there a tool that can make videos of an AI generated version of yourself, then transitioning smoothly to the real you? An AI generated tool? Not that I know of with an AI generated tool. You can do it pretty easily with something like DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere, where you just, you know, slowly fade them into each other. In fact, DaVinci Resolve actually has a transition called Smooth Transition, where it sort of tries to do the frame interpolation from one frame to the next. But that's essentially what you're looking for, is frame interpolation. Runway does have frame interpolation features built into it, but I think it's only for images. Let's see. See, they do have frame interpolation, but I think you've got to upload images, and I don't think it will do it with videos. Dang, all right. We just hit the 2-hour mark, and I'm still ready to keep going if you guys want to keep hanging out. Last time I did one of these live streams, people were complaining to me in the comments afterwards that I went too long and I need to shorten it down. But I just, like, this is like one of my favorite things. It's just like hanging out and answering questions. So like, I'm having a blast doing this. I do feel like I'm going to lose my voice, but I'm having a blast. Is it possible to give DALL-E 3 a reference picture with ChatGPT? You can if you have the new feature that I don't have. So inside of ChatGPT, once you have the model where all of these tools are rolled together in a single tool, you can actually upload an image and tell DALL-E to generate an image similar to it. But until you have that all-in-one feature, there's no way to do that yet. Simon says he has Claude in the UK. Okay, so Big AI is saying Claude is not accepting new users at the minute. And it's not based on location. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't actually know that. Is there an AI tool that can help you start your own business? I'm sure there is. There's a lot of AI tools that are designed for business. I mean, just looking at something like ChatGPT, I want to start a business. What are some ideas for that business? Right? You can just go to ChatGPT and just start a conversation with it. See, I've added some additional context, right? So it knows that I do AI and it knows I do YouTube, right? Like if I go to my custom instructions here, I can even show you my custom instructions. I got nothing to hide. So I have this information here. I'm based in San Diego, California. I'm a full-time YouTuber who makes my income through AdSense revenue and sponsorships. My YouTube channel is all about the latest news and AI advancements. I could talk about AI, videography, cinematography, photography, tech, and storytelling for hours. The goal of passing 1 million subscribers on YouTube and being the go-to authority on the latest AI and tech tools for creators, entrepreneurs, and for productivity. And then down here for how would you like it to respond, I have skip the formalities about being an AI chat model, address me as Matt. When a long explanation is required, give me a long explanation. If a really short and concise answer will do, I'd prefer that. If I ever ask for ideas for YouTube titles, be sure to suggest only titles that are 50 characters or less. So that's all the context I gave it. But, you know, if you're trying to start a new business, you can give it custom instructions on the things that interest you, the things you're good at, the things you're bad at, stuff like that, and then ask questions about building a business, and it will make suggestions tailored to who you are and what you like to do. Dang, questions keep on rolling. Let's see. What size PC capability do we need to use all the AI apps? I mean, these days, more and more, you don't even need a great PC because so much of this stuff is in the cloud. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do AI image generation, you can, you can use something like Run Diffusion to run Stable Diffusion in the cloud. You can use Leonardo. You can use Midjourney, DALL-E. All of those are in the cloud. If you want to run your own large language model, you can even do that on something like a RunPod or not Run Diffusion, but you can do it on one of those like cloud computers like a RunPod. So honestly, you don't need an amazing computer. I highly recommend if you are going to try to do stuff on your own computer, run it on an NVIDIA graphics card. A lot of things like Stable Diffusion and some of these large language models are actually optimized for NVIDIA graphics cards. But if you have something that's like an NVIDIA 3060 or better, a graphics, a couple $100 graphics card, you can do most of what you want to do. It's just the better the graphics card, the more RAM you have, and probably the faster it's going to do a lot of the things. But even if you've got a slower graphics card, or I even know Prompt Muse, another AI YouTube channel, she actually does most of her stuff in the cloud from an iPad. So she's running a lot of these cloud services and running a lot of these AI tools in the cloud, just, logging in from her iPad. So I think the actual computer that you're on is going to become less and less important as more of these tools are made available on cloud services. If you're curious, I'm running an NVIDIA 4080 on my computer right now. That's personally what I use. Let's see. I might butcher some of these names, so I apologize. But Patera, Matt, can you please remind me of the tool that allows you to create a 360 image through photo stitching? There's a few. You might be thinking of Blockade Labs. That's a tool where you can type a text prompt. I like to do like a colorful Minecraft village, And then for style, I'll do, they have so many styles now. Like they keep adding more every time I log in. I want to do render. Sure. And I'll generate that. And this actually creates a, you know, a 3D image of, or not a 3D, a 360 degree image of whatever you created. I'm not sure if that's what you were asking about. There's also Luma Labs. This one, oops, didn't mean to go to the fly-throughs page. This is one where you can take a bunch of photos with your camera around an object, and then it sort of turns that into a 360 image. Like here's something that, here's one that somebody did of like this picnic bench here, right? And then once you open it up, I'm actually doing this with my mouse now. I can sort of look at it from any angle. This is actually, I'm not sure if this is using a Nerf or a Gaussian splat, but kind of the same, a similar end result. You get this 360 image that I can zoom in and zoom out on and rotate around. So I'm assuming the question is referring to one of those two tools. So hopefully that answered the question. Still generating my Minecraft village. Let's see. Is text to video the next big thing? I mean, I think it's one of the next big things. I think text to video is already here, right? We've got Pika Labs, we've got Moon Valley, we've got Runway Gen 2, we've got there's others. Some Animate Diff is another one, which you can run locally and is open source. There's a whole bunch of video generators that are text to video right now, and they're getting better and better. You're able to do longer and longer generations. I still think it's going to be a little while before we have something that like generates something that people get really excited about. I think they're always going to look a little uncanny or a little bit, I don't know, mutant-y when you try to generate stuff for a little while. But I do think it's one of the big things that we're going to see more and more of. I think like the next big wave that we're going to see in AI is going to come more from the text to 3D. I've seen huge, I even made a whole video about this, how like text to 3D advancements have just gotten crazy lately. Like we've jumped leaps and bounds over like just the last 12 weeks or so with what you can do with text to 3D. I think that's going to be really, really big for creating game assets, for creating characters inside of videos, for creating your own avatars that you can then go rig up with tools like Mixamo. So I think that's going to be big. I also, you know, I keep beating the drum that I think AI and healthcare is going to be like the next huge wave that we hear about in mainstream media, right? When a lot of the text to video and when ChatGPT came out, when a lot of the text to image and ChatGPT stuff came out, like the Midjourney and Stable Diffusion and DALL-E, and when ChatGPT came out, those two kind of concepts, text to image and the large language models like ChatGPT, those were all over the media, all over the news, saw a huge spike in hype around those things. I think the next thing we're going to see that huge spike in hype around is AI with healthcare. That's my opinion based on the news I've been following and where I see a lot of the research headed. I do think that's probably going to be one of the big, huge media hype cycles we're going to see is AI, you know, really, really improving healthcare. AI help with diagnosis, AI vision models to look at x-rays and brain scans and MRIs and that kind of stuff. And the AI actually being able to diagnose things based on uploading images. And that is where I think a lot of the next big hype cycle is going to go. Let's see. Try Luma with lots of A's. All right. Can I do it like straight from their website, or is it only? Let's see. How do I do it? Oh yeah, it's in Discord. All right, let's go to Discord. I'm actively joining their Discord now. Let's see here. So gotta complete some stuff. Nice. That's pretty cool. Night in a Pixar render. What do you guys want me to render? What else do we got? John's feeding me all these questions, and I'm struggling to keep up here. So let's see, what do we got? We got try Luma. Is it worth paying for ChatGPT Plus or using free services? I mean, I think ChatGPT Plus is worth it, especially with especially when you get the all-in-one feature. I think, once you have DALL-E and web browser and GPT-4 Vision, and they're all in one, and you're getting that 32,000 context window, I mean, GPT 3.5 isn't going to be able to keep up at all. Let's see, best way sites to transform my own voice recording into another voice. Probably, what's that one tool called? There's a website that's like that'll do like AI singing, but it'll also do AI voice changing. Trying to blank on what it's called. This is what I use Future Tools for. Scroll down to the bottom because it's one that's been on here for a while. So, voice mod, that's the one I'm thinking of. This is one that can actually do like real-time voice changing, and it's not necessarily celebrity voices. You can just kind of create new voices. So I would check out voicemod.net. And it's free too. Let's see. I need some ideas of what to do in the Luma one here. A mad wolf. All right, so what is the protocol here? Genie prompt guide. So type the /genie command. Begin with the name of the object you would like to generate. Describe the appearance. Add style descriptors. Okay. So we'll go Genie, a mad wolf, gray, and furry. Let's just see what that does. Let's see. What jobs will AI kill? From Boheem. I think it's hard to say. I don't really like talking about what jobs I think AI will kill, because I think for the most part, I think AI is going to improve and optimize a lot of roles. I think there are a lot of roles out there that are going to be heavily assisted by AI, where some people won't need to have like assistance and as much help underneath them, right? I think things like accounting and lawyers and stuff like that, I mean, I don't think we'll see a day where we just don't have accountants, but I think they'll be using AI heavily where maybe they don't need to have as many assistants underneath them. I think with law, I think a role like a paralegal will be less necessary, because a lot of that precedent and stuff that paralegals spend their time looking up can probably be a lot faster found with AI. I don't know if any of those jobs are going to go away, or if they're just going to be optimized where they just need less people doing them, though. But it's hard to say. It's not really an area I like to talk about that much, because I don't really like to think of AI as something that's actually taking people's jobs. I think of AI as a tool to assist in optimizing and making jobs easier and making people's lives easier. Over time, if you follow, like I'm reading Mustafa Suleiman's book, The Coming Wave, right now, and if you buy into sort of his narrative, he believes that over time, AI is going to take all jobs, and everybody's just going to need like a universal basic income, and we have to rethink just jobs in general, and that over time AI just does all the work for everybody, and now we sit around and get to enjoy our lives while AI does all the work. And so that's sort of his narrative. I don't know if that's going to play out in our lifetimes, But right now I see AI as a very like assistive helping technology for the most part, not something that's going to take people's jobs. Maybe the AI with robotics, right? We don't need burger flippers if a machine can flip burgers for us better than the humans can. Some of that kind of stuff, like I think robotics will probably replace people, but I don't know if I really believe things like large language models are going to replace a whole lot of jobs. I think they're just going to make a lot of jobs easier. Are you able to do a quick audit of the monthly AI tools you pay for? I actually did one on Twitter not too long ago, and I think it's pretty much the same. I haven't paid for many more, but it was a while ago, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it again. It came out to something like almost $500 a month, in case you're curious. But I really don't expect others to invest that much in AI tools. I just spend that much because, I've made it a career to play with them and demo them and show them off and find new use cases that maybe other people haven't thought of yet. I've made that one of the things that I just do. So I would say most people, you can probably get away with one AI image generator like a Midjourney or a Leonardo, and then something like ChatGPT Plus. And I would say for 99% of people, those are like the only two you're going to need. Yeah, I don't remember. It was a while back on Twitter that I broke it down, but it hasn't really changed. It was like $470 a month or something. Let's see. Can you use it with Slack? It's only working in premium, but there's 30-day trial with credit card. You can use it even without message limits for 30 days. Cool. I haven't actually tried Claude with Slack. I like that idea though. Big Al's AI. I like that username. What do you think of the US government looking for AI consultants but only offering a quarter of the pay they already make? I haven't actually seen that yet. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I think what's going to end up happening is the big companies, the OpenAIs, the Microsofts, the Googles, Elon Musk, people like that, they're going to end up forming like their body, and the government's just going to end up like referring to that body of people for their consultations. That's most likely what's going to end up happening. So the big companies are going to end up being the companies that drive a lot of the regulation and a lot of where it's all headed. But I don't know. That's just kind of speculation. That's sort of the way I'm not going to get into politics. That's just sort of the way the government works in general, though, is the big companies sort of drive things more than the politicians actually drive things. AI Cowgirl, what is the best writing tool for stories that is uncensored, an alternative to Claude and ChatGPT? The only ones that I know that are really uncensored are like the ones that you would install locally. I think you can use them on Hugging Face, though. Let's see. So there's the Orca, the Mistral 7B. That's the one that I've been playing with lately. It's even got some spaces here. So you can go to the Hugging Face space and chat with Open Orca here. Pretty sure this one's uncensored. You could also install it using that Pinocchio tool. So if you watch my latest video about the AI Swiss Army knife, where I install Pinocchio and it has all the other AI tools that have easy installs in it, you can install your own large language models on your own computer and they will be completely uncensored. Do you own a dog? I did. My dog actually passed away like a month ago, though, so I don't currently have a dog, unfortunately. My dog was 15 years old, and she passed away last month. Do you think the desktop computer will become obsolete? I don't think it'll become obsolete. I just think it'll become less necessary for the normal everyday people. I don't ever see myself not having a desktop computer. I think the nerdiest of us will all still have desktop computers. I think desktop computers are still, the best platform for gaming. I do have consoles. I have a PS5 and a Switch. I still prefer gaming on a computer with a keyboard and mouse. So I think there's always going to be that preference from gamers. But I just think for the average person who's not a tech nerd and not a gamer, you know, it's probably going to move more and more to smaller devices, and the desktop computers are less necessary. Oh yeah, I need to check on my Mad Wolf render here. There's so much going on here. Hopefully it tags me and highlights me in it. 40 new messages since I clicked away, so that's how many people are generating in here right now. I don't know. Did anybody see a Mad Wolf in there? I would think it would be done by now. What do we got? You can see why there's so much editing in my real videos. I talk a lot, and I also have phases where I don't talk a lot, and I need to go cut all that stuff out. Where's my Mad Wolf? Oh, there it is. I must have scrolled past it. So here's my Mad Wolves with gray fur. Those are actually better than I was anticipating. That actually did a better job, I think, than even that, what was it, Masterpiece X or whatever that I was using earlier. So what happens if I upscale one? This one on the top right has 2 tails. I think I like number 3. Let's upscale number 3. No, it's not even an upscale thing. Well, there it is. So can I export this as like an object file or something? Oh, it makes it a GLB file. Can I open GLB files in like Blender? I mean, you might be able to open the, I'm assuming you can open this in Blender, clean it up a little bit, and then pull it into whatever your slicer program is and 3D print that if you want. There's a little connector between his legs there, so, you know, it would need some cleanup, but imagine pull it into Blender, clean it up, pull it into your slicer, 3D print it, and you got your own text to real world object. Which is a video I'd like to make soon, actually. All right. I think I'm going to go for about 5 more minutes, and then we've gone for 2.5 hours, and then I'm going to probably start wrapping it up here. So we did our Mad Wolf. Canvas says, hey, Matt, I'm moving into my own apartment soon. Which AI is good for creating an interior design from photos? Let's see. I saw research on a tool that does that recently, but I don't know if it was available yet. Let's see. If I go back to interior here on future tools, again, there's 23 tools here. Interior AI, take a picture of an empty room and let AI do your interior designing. Kool-Aid, interior design ideas using AI. Dreamhouse AI, interior design inspirations for your rooms. Room GPT. I think any one of these will probably do what you want it to do. Visualize AI, my room designer. So, you know, head over to future tools, type interior, and you can open up a bunch of these tools. Like I would probably go, let's open this in a new tab. Open this in a new tab, this in a new tab, this in a new tab. Look at some of the examples. Oops, I actually meant to press the other button that opens it straight to the website. You click this little square button, it actually goes straight to the website instead of opening my version of the page. So if I open like these ones here, we can open them, look at some of the examples, look at the pricing, and find the one that looks closest to what I'm looking for. Like something like this, it's cool, but I don't know. Like I have a hard time justifying $29 a month for something that you're probably going to use once or twice and then cancel. I feel like some of these tools, not that there's anything against these tools, they just don't need to be a monthly price. Not every tool needs to be a monthly damn price. Like, go let me pay $3 to generate 1 or 2 images. Like, I'm not going to pay $20 a month for a tool for interior design unless, like, I'm a career interior designer and I'm using this thing every day. Like, to me, it seems like you should have some a la carte pricing as well. But that's just my opinion. I shouldn't go off on too many rants like that because I don't want to poop on other people's business models. I just get frustrated by the fact that literally everything is a subscription model these days. Let's see. In your opinion, what are the best tools to create a user interface on top of AI models? Best tool to create a UI on top of AI models? There's a lot. You know, I really liked Mind Studio when I was playing around with Mind Studio the other day. I don't know, like, their user interface is still pretty basic. But, you know, I created my Beast bot here. They have a pretty decent user interface for creating bots. There's a lot. I think Pickaxe. Pickaxe is pretty good. This one you could create little AI tools as well. I don't know. I mean, the thing about AI is I've got 2,348 tools on this website. And out of those 2,348 tools, I have literally looked at every single website for every single tool just to make sure it doesn't look like a scam, to make sure it doesn't look like a low effort product. But I haven't necessarily clicked in and played with every single tool. Like, I haven't signed up for an account and used every single tool. I try to do it with a lot of the free tools, but I don't do it with every tool. That's just, you know, too much to try to keep up with. So I'm sure there's a lot of bot creators that I've come across that I've listed on the site that I haven't played around with yet that are probably exactly what you're looking for, which, you know, is a big reason I created this site, is to help people just kind of single down, you know, dial in on exactly what they're looking for. Let's see. You want to find a ping? So BuyCloud's on the call too. What's up, BuyCloud? He's got a really good YouTube channel. Everybody make sure you check that out. He does really good explainer videos on AI. So if I go to search out BuyCloud here, he just cracked 100,000 subscribers fairly recently as well. But he's got some really good explainer videos. They're all pretty quick, pretty short, to the point, and often pretty funny. So check him out. Definitely love his videos. So Charlie, have you talked about the new AI rules Biden has signed? Quite honestly, I don't really feel like there's a lot of substance to them. I don't really feel like there's much that's going to change a lot. I don't know. I have some opinions. Excuse me. I have some opinions on it. I'm probably planning on sharing some of it on my Friday AI news video this week, but I'm still sort of fleshing out my opinions. So, yeah, I'll share more about that on the Friday news video. But the sort of short answer to that is I don't really feel like they're very substantial changes that are going to make much of an impact on anything, really. Let's see, Mike's saying, anyone buy a 3D printer off Amazon? What's a good one? I don't know. I'm actually in the process of researching printers. The two companies that I'm looking at are Prusa and Bamboo. So you've got the Prusa Mark IV, seems to be the newest one from Prusa. And then you've got the Bamboo Labs. I'm probably going to get the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon Combo. This is the one that I'm probably going to get. But from everything I've seen from my research, the two companies that most people recommend for the 3D printers are Bamboo and Prusa. But they are sort of more towards the higher end line. So if you're looking for budget, those may not be the budget options. Do I have any plans for celebrating reaching 500,000 subs? I don't. Maybe I'll do another live stream when I hit 500,000. Maybe that's when I'll decide to do the next one. What am I at right now? So I've got 44,000 to go. Yeah, so I would imagine that'll probably still be several months away, but I'll probably do like some sort of fun live stream when I hit 500,000. That'd be cool. I don't have any specific plans though. Am I excited for Gemini? Asked Pastrick. I am. Yeah, I want to play with it. I'm excited to kind of put it side by side with GPT-4, especially once GPT-4 rolls out all of these new features and functions. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the side by side comparison, plugging prompts into both tools, seeing which one does it better. Hoping Gemini is multimodal from day one, so we can upload images and things like that and compare it side by side with GPT-4. I think, from a YouTuber perspective, I'm excited about the content potential of Gemini. There's not a whole lot that I feel like I can't do right now already with things like ChatGPT and Claude and what's out. So I'm excited about the content that I'll be able to produce, comparing them and seeing how much better it really is, honestly. Nice. All right. So what do you think of Tensor AI? Let me see. I need a reminder of what Tensor AI is. Yeah, it's not something I'm like super familiar with, honestly. I'll have to kind of go down that rabbit hole, learn more about Tensor AI. So don't have much thoughts to share on it yet. But ByCloud, absolutely, I'm going to shout you out. If you keep making good videos, I'm going to keep shouting them out. Let's see. He says I should do live reactions to AI-related events too. I'd love to do that. I just don't necessarily know the copyright implications. Like if I'm sitting there watching an Apple event, is Apple going to get mad at me? Like, I know other YouTube channels do it, but I also don't know like their monetization status and things like that. So that always worries me. All right. If I was to create an animated web show, where would I start with the workflow if you had to suggest? My workflows always start with ChatGPT lately. Like I would honestly ask that question to ChatGPT, and that's like every AI workflow I do almost always starts there. Like, come here. If I was to create an animated web show, where would I start with the workflow? Just see what ChatGPT says. And then it will break down a good workflow. All right. I think this is going to be my last question. So Paul Dio says, what is the best AI to use to remix your existing videos with AI? So by remix, if you mean like restyle them and create like a new look to the same video, personally, I like Kyber a lot. I also like Gen 1, Runway's Gen 1 a lot. Kyber, I feel like, is a little bit more customizable than Gen 1. Like let's see, I can show you some of the videos. Let me log in real quick off camera. Not like anybody can't just guess my email address anyway, and I already showed it on screen a couple times by accident, but I should just get in the practice of doing that. So Kyber has been really good at this kind of stuff where you upload like a regular video and then run it through Kyber. I wonder if I can see like the original video. But like here's a video of just me in my room talking to camera, and then the prompt was an anime man in the style of Lost, I guess. Is that the whole prompt, or did that cut off? I don't even know what the style of Lost was. I'm sure that's a prompt that Kyber helped me generate. Oops. But yeah, Kyber is probably the one that I use the most for just taking an existing video and like putting a new style on that video. Let's see, Just Biz. What is your near future goals? That's a good question. I'm working on overhauling Future Tools with a business partner that I'm going to be working with on Future Tools. So I'm excited to kind of really dive in on some new features there, just for like an idea of what we're going to do with it. You can see I added a special offer tab here, and right now there's only 11 tools, but these are all tools that gave me like custom coupon code. So any of these 11 tools, if you go to the site, there's a custom coupon code just for people who found it through Future Tools. and you can get some sort of discount on that tool. Well, one of the big updates that we're going to make is we're going to really try to go with like a group buy kind of concept, where whenever we add new tools on the site, we're going to really go after the tools and say like, hey, can you give a discount or even like a longer extended free trial to people who find it through Future Tools, and try to make it that resource where you come to find the best tools, but also exclusive deals and discounts on the tools. Like, the site's going to stay the same in the sense that I'm going to keep on adding new cool tools as I come across them, but we're also going to try to push a little bit harder to try to get special deals and discounts for people who find them through Future Tools. The AI news page is also pretty plain and basic, so this is going to get a complete overhaul when we start updating the site. There's probably going to be like a members area where if you want to vote to upvote the tools, you can upvote, but you have to be a logged in user to upvote, because right now, if I click on most upvoted, there's people that game the system, right? Like some of these tools that are in here, I'm not going to specifically pinpoint tools, but I know people have used like bots or voted for themselves in incognito windows like multiple times, and people have gamed the voting system. And the only way I know around gaming this voting system is to make it so anybody can come to the site and see the tools and filter and sort them and find what they're looking for. But in order to be able to upvote, you have to be a user that logs in. And that's the only way I know how to make it so you can't game the upvote system. So there will probably be some sort of like logged in members. Well, it won't be paid. I'm never going to make the site paid. It'll always be free. But I will probably have a thing where you can create an account and log in. And if you log in, you get some additional features as a free logged in member, but it also gives you the ability to upvote. Also, lately, I've gotten a lot of people spamming the suggest changes. So, like, there's bots that, for whatever reason, will just, like, put in a fake name and email address and then put, like, a URL in the suggestion, thinking that I'm going to click on a random URL and I send them one click to their site or something. I don't understand the thinking of why people spam these forms, but there is a lot of spam that gets submitted through them. So, I'm going to make it so you have to be logged in to suggest stuff as well. All right. I think I got to start wrapping this up. Are there any questions, John, that you think I got to answer before I wrap it up here? Oh, yeah. I actually didn't finish the answer on what are my near future goals. So I did it again. I was showing off stuff on Future Tools and didn't share my damn screen. Sorry about that again. Yeah, what I was saying was the AI news site is looking pretty plain, so this is going to get some updates. The homepage, I'm going to really focus on getting some special offers out of people. The upvote system, if I show by most upvoted, some of these are actually gamed. You heard me say it all, but now I'm actually showing you what I was actually talking about because I screwed up again. But yeah, so future goals, update the Future Tools website. I really want to keep growing the YouTube channel. I have so much fun making content. John and I, we have a mastermind call together 2 or 3 times a week where we're thinking of cool new ideas for videos. We got a lot of cool videos that are in process in the works, so I'm excited to release some of those videos. There's a podcast that's coming out starting next year. I'm launching a podcast with a co-host. That podcast is going to launch in January, and that's going to be purely an interview podcast. So our goal is to have thought leaders and engineers and really smart people in the AI space on that show. Our goal is to try to interview Sam Altman and Mustafa Suleyman and Jan LeCun and anybody building in the AI space, and then also interview a lot of the creators in the AI space. Talk to Matt VidPro, have Igor from the AI Advantage on, have BuyCloud on, have some of the people that are creating a lot of the content in the AI space on the show as well, and talk to them about how AI is shifting content creation and some of the coolest tools that they're coming across and everything that they're learning. So, that podcast is going to start in January. Excited about that one. We're working on an investment fund where we are raising capital, and the fund is going to invest in some AI startups that we're excited about. So yeah, I've got a lot in the works. I actually was asked yesterday to speak at South by Southwest, so I'll likely be in Austin for South by Southwest in March. I'm going to be at CES in January, the Consumer Electronics Show. I got a media pass to that, so I get to kind of go behind the scenes and show off some of the upcoming tech. Really excited to make content about that. Yeah, there's a lot I'm excited about right now. Let me see. What does John say here? Do you think you can create your own personal bots with your characteristics and allow it to do your lives while you're asleep? I don't believe that's going to be happening anytime real soon, but that would be nice, wouldn't it? Big Al's AI. How does it feel that in years to come you'll be known as the very first highlight AI and what it can do for us? One of the very first to highlight AI and what it can do for us. I mean, I think that'll be cool. I think one of the things I'm most excited about with the YouTube channel, and I've said this, I think on the last live stream, I've said this when I've been on other podcast interviews. One thing that I feel about this YouTube channel is that I'm basically building the time capsule for AI. So anybody can come to this YouTube channel 10 years from now and see what was going on in the world of AI on November 1st, 2023. What was going on in the world of AI back in February of 2023? You know, how were people receiving ChatGPT-4? What were some of the early use cases that people were excited about from GPT-4? You know, when AI started rolling out into all the Adobe products, what were some of the first cool AI things to roll out into the Adobe products? I have videos that have covered all of those things, and I get excited about that concept that 10 years from now, people could come back to this channel and literally see a timeline of the advancements of AI through looking at videos on this channel. So I think that concept excites me quite a bit. Actually, I've said that to many people that's how I approach this YouTube channel, is like this. I'm building the time capsule of AI, and I don't know. I like looking at it from that perspective, I think. And John says, I think we're good. KCXU 92.7 FM. Will you consider to send podcasts to our local community radio station in San Jose? We're a nonprofit. I'm open to that. Yeah, hit me up on Discord or wherever you can reach me, and I'd be open to that. Now, saying that, the podcast, we are working with a partner on it. Right, that we have a production company who is helping produce the podcast, and so there are some licensing aspects that are out of our hands, but as long as we know about some stuff in advance and have some of these ideas laid out in advance, we can work those in as part of it. I would love to have a podcast syndicated across radio stations. That would be awesome, I think. Whew. All right. I think I need to wrap up. Otherwise, I could probably keep on talking for 7 more hours. I do want to do this more often. John and I were talking about maybe making this a once-a-month thing. If you guys like this, I know these aren't going to be my most viewed videos on YouTube, but they're some of the most fun to make because I just love jumping in and engaging with the community and answering questions and talking to people that watch the channel. And it's just so much fun. Like I absolutely love this. Let me see. I'm just kind of looking at the last few things that are coming in on the chat, but I do want to thank everybody for showing up and hanging out with me. If you think we should do more of these, let me know. I always feel weird just jumping on a live stream with nothing really in mind to talk about, which is why on the first one, I jumped on to talk about how I make thumbnails. On this one, I jumped on to talk about how I find my news and tools, and I wanted to share some cool Leonardo stuff with you. But, you know, I'm also totally down to just say, hey, let's go live and no agenda. Let's just chat. You throw questions in or comments or, you know, latest news, and we go play with it and talk about it and just kind of jump in cold. I'd be totally down to do that. It makes me a little uncomfortable to not have something prepared, but I'm noticing that there's never a shortage of questions and fun things to talk about. AI Matt could keep going forever. That's true. That's true. Maybe I replaced myself with AI Matt 20 minutes ago and you guys didn't even realize it. Agnes, thank you so much for the lives. Love the free flow. Love it too. This is so much fun. I never know if this is valuable. Free flowing. In my mind, I feel like I'm just sort of rambling and ranting. You know, I obviously have thoughts and opinions and know about a lot of the cool tools and try to stay in the loop with the news so I can talk forever about all of the stuff that's going on. But I'm always curious, like, is this valuable? Are people enjoying me just kind of rambling and talking? So it, you know, glad to see people actually enjoy this because I enjoy doing it. Remco is asking, are there transcripts of these live videos? Yes, the transcripts are automated. YouTube actually makes them, but they don't typically come out for a couple hours afterwards. So there should be a transcript for this. Charlie says, love your time and all of your amazing advice and future tools. All your videos have taught me how to navigate so much more of the AI landscape. Please do this again soon. Loved it. Awesome. Thank you. We got a brain exploding. Dr. Nav's giving the thumbs up. Blizzard saying is like a drug now. Yeah, live streaming so much fun. I think the reason I don't do it more often is because I know that I can probably go for 7 hours and I'm really bad at stopping. Awesome. Big Al's AI, great live. Watcher says there's been a lot of valuable information. Blizzard, can't live without AI. Woods Mamba, I always watch you from France to track what's going on in the AI world. Thanks. Thank you. That's awesome. Mr. eFlow gonna wrap it up? Maybe. Not today, though. Once the UK conference is done. Yeah, once I know more about what came out of the UK conference, I'll definitely be talking about it for sure. Probably combine that a little bit with what you know, Biden just put out for the US. Cheers from Brazil. Cheers, Anima. Let's see. Do more live streams. Thank you, Jarogance. Yeah, this video will be available on YouTube. I'm not going to take down these live streams. Anybody can go and check them out and catch up with them later. Thank you, Mohammed. One of the best AI updates. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Agnes. Definitely my favorite channel. Awesome. That's so cool. I love that. Let's see. The 2-minute delays. Yeah. Yep. The delays are always interesting, especially when I'm not sharing my screen, when I'm meaning to be sharing my screen. Michael from Germany. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. I had a blast doing this. You know, head over to the Discord. Discord is definitely the best way to keep some of the conversations going. I'm also on Twitter/X a lot. I do read most of the comments and replies on Twitter. Usually my strategy on Twitter is I'll post something on Twitter and I literally read every comment, every reply for the first, 48 hours or so. And then usually I'll make another tweet after that and kind of start following along to the new tweet. But I do try to read everything for the first 24, 48 hours after I tweet something. Unless one of the threads turns overly negative, which does happen from time to time. That's the nature of AI. People are scared. I don't blame them. There is, there's stuff to be scared of in this world. And so when people get negative, I usually look at it and try to have that empathetic approach of, I understand where you're coming from, but, yes, things could go wrong, but AI could make a lot of things go right. Let's try to look on the positive side more often. But usually when they turn negative, I just mute them and move on with my day. All right. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. Otherwise, I'll just keep on going and going and going. I really appreciate you. Thank you, John, a.k.a. Craze, for helping me moderate and feeding me questions to answer. Make sure you guys are following him over on Twitter as well. He is, let's see, what's your Twitter handle? Craze in the Dark. Go follow Craze. Let's get his subscriber count up. He's my right-hand man. He's the guy who's helping me with titles and thumbnails and various videos in the AI space. So a lot of the content I've been putting out lately, he's got his fingerprints all over as well. So got to give him some love and shout him out. Here's what his Twitter account looks like. go follow Craze in the Dark. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'm done rambling. Bye-bye. See you all.